virtually every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing.
Me?
We want you to smoke the natural herb.
Sweet.
Some call it marijuana.
Sweet.
Some call it sesame.
Sweet.
Some call it lamb's bread.
The tea.
And some people call it...
Here. I took a good dab. All right. Tell you how we'll start, and then we'll... Hey, there he is. Oh.
You're live on the Adam Dunn Show.
Oh, we are?
We already played the intro and everything.
No, you didn't.
We did.
No,
What?
You guys.
What?
Oh, my headphones are on.
Good job. I have no
mic, no
nothing's
headphones.
even working.
Yeah.
No headphones are working. Nothing's working. You guys, did you really start the show like that? Good job. Well, great, Mark. Yeah, great job. Anyway, welcome to the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host,
No,
Adam
this
Dunn.
isn't on.
And
There we
nothing's working. Oh, there we go. Hey, we had no headphones. Nothing. No producers. Luckily,
It's okay. Maybe
Luckily-
we just talk about we're hiring. We're
luckily
looking for two production engineers.
Luckily, our guests are so on point that they're there. They know what's up.
Did you start the show while we were in Limbo Land? No, he doesn't even realize I'm talking to him.
Yo,
Can you
yo.
hear us?
You can hear us? Check your sound.
Yeah.
Ah, there you are.
It's
It's 12:45.
I was just.
No, we didn't know. This is the sloppiest start to a show ever. I didn't.
Really?
I said let's
No,
start
we-
the show, and then all of a sudden we've already started it. But that's how it goes on this.
We've done worse before, I'm pretty sure.
We have done
Yeah,
worse. We
we've
have
done
done
worse.
worse. Don't worry, we've done worse.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So first of all, before we jump into your thing, let me just give a quick intro since we didn't do any intros on the show.
Who are you?
Yeah, who am I? I'm Adam.
I'm Dave.
And we are on the Adam Dunn Show, and we have a full show. We have right now we have Joao calling in from Berlin, safe and sound. Luckily, he's not in jail because I thought we were going to maybe not have a first guest. He's been out on the streets of Berlin in the darkness doing crazy shit. But we'll talk about that in a second. But we also have Young Dirty Bastard in traffic on his way for real this time. I already saw all the non-believers. They were like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Hold on a sec, Adam.
What?
In their defense, we do not have the best track record
No,
with
we do. We have a
rap
good track
stars.
record. Well, nobody does.
No.
There's nobody in the world who has great records with rap stars coming into the.
Should we go back? Let's see. Well, even celebrities. Like, let's start. Redman
celebra-
ghosted you 3 times.
No.
No, didn't he?
No, not Redman.
Who was it that?
It was Devin the Dude.
Devin.
Not and the Dude.
It's not Wu-Tang and the Clan.
No, it's not Wu-Tang. It's not Wu-Tang and the Clan. And then we also have Blessed Coast coming in at the end of the show, hanging out with James Bean. He's the latest breeder on the James Bean Man on the Scene Seeds Here Now corral. So he's got a drop going down, and we're gonna find out what makes it all special because there's a lot of good. He's got some great genetics. He's doing all sorts of IBLs of some hot famous strains and really corner mark strains. Or cornerstone, I should say. So we have a full show. There you go. And
we're back.
So, yeah, tell us how. Let's first of all let's just start it off because then people will understand how far this went. So we have your little 1 minute and or 2 minute thing here. We'll play that in the beginning. And interestingly enough, it's. Germany is about to go, legalize cannabis, which is crazy to me after living in Europe for 20 years and always thinking like, wow, Germany was like the Oklahoma of Europe at that one point, right? And now look at Oklahoma's flipped, and all of a sudden Germany's flipped, and they become like the epicenters. So, you guys were putting out 500 plants all around Berlin. Let's take a look.
Let's play this.
Tragen und Cannabispflanzen neben dem Alexanderplatz und dem Brandenburger Tor tragen. Sie sind in schwarzer Kleidung unterwegs und fahren einen weißen Lieferwagen.
Dear everyone, we are 8000Kicks, a name shoe and backpack company from Portugal. During the last years, our company has been fighting the war on stigma, the cannabis stigma. This plant was banned almost 50 years ago, but today we realize that hemp is one of nature's most sustainable and durable fibers. In a world where our biggest fight is against climate change, we still see many people demonizing this plant and criticizing our products because of a stigma that was built in the last century. Today we fight for legalization. Today we fight for integration of people that have been marginalized because of what they consume. Today we fight for educating people for the advantages of this plant. Today we break the stigma. Today we are starting the hemp revolution. During the last hours, our team has spread over 500 plants around Berlin. These plants are industrial hemp and they grow without pesticides and almost no water. Although they look like weed, they are not for consuming and they are not for smoking. These plants are the core material of our products, and these plants are the alternative to leather and plastic that we need. These plants are the change that we need, and because people still doubt their potential, we put it out there for everyone to see. Today, we are one step closer to changing our planet. The revolution has started.
Wow.
Good job.
Fuck yeah, applause.
I'm very surprised that I'm still not in jail.
And you're exactly right. And did you guys have any close calls or any weird shit go down? I'm sure.
Yeah, we a few actually. So there is one that comes to mind. There is this police car that I was driving. There was two parts that you have to understand. This video was made before all of this thing happened, but actually the real action happened in the last 3-4 days. So this is actually, we already dropped a lot of plants, a lot. The city is going crazy.
That's awesome.
And I mean, these reactions, obviously, they're totally authentic and organic. Because as you see, a lot of the videos were made without people perceiving. We had hidden cameras filming people's reaction.
Yeah.
But obviously, this all went down just 4 days ago. And honestly, I still can't believe we actually pulled this out.
That is killer. And did you guys do it all in the city of Berlin, or did you guys do other cities, or kind of just kept it all in one?
No, just Berlin. I mean, but you actually, the funniest part is this campaign is just going halfway, because we've done some other crazy stuff that we are editing the video. I cannot reveal.
Okay, well that's good. I'm sure you'll send us a copy when that one's complete. In that first video, of booming. And so in the first video, just because I know my guys are all plant experts, they're going to be like, wait a minute, those weren't real plants, those ones. But that was for the video to do the pre-shot, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So
That's
okay.
right.
Because I was already thinking to myself, I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, well, those look just like the freaking fake plants I see everywhere. Then I was like, they are the fake plants. But that makes sense. I
know. I mean,
so you guys,
we just come to Berlin, to our location where we are. We have like around 10 plants just next to us in the stall, because we have a booth downtown, like in the most like crowded station in Berlin, just between Friedrichshain and Kreuzberg, where you have like an intense crowd, and we have like 10 plants, so real plants, and they're like full of smell. And everyone is stopping by and coming and talking, I've seen your plants here and there. Are you the same guys that put the plants in Alexanderplatz? And I'm like, yeah.
Except for when the one guy comes up and goes, hey, are you the guys that did it? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, we've been looking for you. And you're like, shit, no, not me. I was a guy that I was with.
You're the guy we were looking for.
So it's too bad. It'd be great if you had like a bigger budget and you could actually like have a camera mounted on the plant or something like that and get all the footage of the people coming up, because you know that there'd be some great stuff with people coming up like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? Because especially if it's like, when
Somebody runs
like you
off
said,
with
when
it.
it's super organic like that, that, you know what I mean? Like real reactions are awesome to see because, you know, you obviously know what's going on, but for the other people, it's like, wait a minute, what the hell is that?
Is that wait? That looks what? Oh, it is. Oh shit!
There was a classic meme here in NorCal, in Northern California here, and there was a pothole, right? That was in this middle of this highway, and it was just really bad. And so one of the locals took a plant and put it in the pothole, like as a sort of statement, you know, like, hey, fix the fucking holes or else we're going to put plants in all of them, you know what I mean? And it was like, oh, it's a pothole, there you go. But it was only in Northern California would you see stuff like that. Like they were like pulling by and they're like, oh, look, someone did their job. But no, that's great.
But let me also tell you you were asking the first question if you have any close calls.
Yeah.
So just 3 days ago, the first truck that we had coming out of the fields, it was like, because we had to start like early, like as soon as the sun went down, like at 10:30, 11, we had the first truck coming full of weed, and we had 4 people inside the truck, a huge truck, and I mean not like a container truck, but like a white van, and we had like 4 people inside and full of weed inside, like super smelly. And I was about to drop the van at the first station so that we drop in this specific place, and the police just stopped by next to me, and I was like, fuck.
First one, right? Great. Haven't even done the first delivery.
I just stopped the van, like, and I was about to knock and say, guys, we're ready, first drop out. And I was about, and then suddenly the police stops. And I was like, he starts talking with me, and sorry, I don't speak, nein spreche Deutsch, I don't speak German. and I'm like, fuck. And the guy's like, you cannot park here.
Pick the wrong spot. You picked the wrong spot right out of the gate, right?
Oh, shit.
No, it's okay, officer. I'm really sorry. I'm just gonna park a little bit straight. And the guy said yes. Otherwise, we'll have to fine you. And then another guy. So there is a side door, and one guy just got out, and he was on the other side. What's going on? And then he was like seeing the police, but the police didn't see that he actually came out of that door.
Right.
It was like, okay, officer. I'm gonna go out immediately. And I was like, just shut up. I told him in Portuguese, it was my buddy, and it's like, just shut up. The fucking police is here. It's like, close call. The police could have fined us because of the weed, because we had people in the truck.
Oh yeah, of course. They're definitely not supposed to be in the back of a work truck like that, because they'd have a laundry list of fines for you at that point. But that's killer.
Yeah,
how many people total did you have in your team?
For the video or for the assembly of the plants?
For the plants, for putting out all the plants. How many groups did you have?
We had two vans. So
2 vans, yeah.
Going back and forth to the farm. So we did a bunch of trips. We ended up deploying over a course of like all night, including early morning. So
that's awesome.
So maybe we can back up for a second. I mean, I know you just had to run in with the cops, you're putting these plants. How did this all start? Were you just sitting there one day going, this is how we're gonna fuck with everybody? You know? I mean, how did this come about?
I mean, sometimes you have to be a little bit crazy, right? Right? If you don't break some stuff, like Marilyn
can't make an omelet if you don't break some eggs, right?
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you don't break some rules, we never get anywhere, right? So sometimes you have to break a little bit. And then we knew we had to stand out. We knew we had to. I mean, we're standing in a position where we actually can drive change for humanity. I mean, hemp, as you guys know, it's a super amazing fiber, super sustainable, super durable, and it really makes a difference when making our products.
Yeah, tell us about
and
a little
for
bit
us-
about tell us a little bit about 8000Kicks, because we obviously jumped straight into the campaign, but
Because it was such a cool video, by the way. That was a great way to lead into it.
it is.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about
It's,
8000Kicks, because I know about it, but obviously the listeners are not familiar yet,
It's,
but they will be.
it's a great job by Sarah, one of our editor. She pulled out a great job, like, and Silvano, our like filmmaking. But yeah, so 8000Kicks is a hemp shoe and backpack company from Portugal, started by me and my grandmother. And that's a funny story, but I'm the marketing guy. She is the expert in textiles. So she is the one. I mean, hemp, as you guys know, was something we used to have in the West all over the place until it was banned in like the 70s. The thing about my grandmother is she's old enough to know how to use this old enough to know how to process the textiles that I obviously don't know existed. And well, she never worked directly with it, but she worked with many other fibers that are very similar in texture. I mean, she of course knew what it was, but she didn't know it was associated with cannabis, which is actually pretty funny. And the thing is, when we started this project together, she was initially very uncomfortable until actually I showed her, and she was. We were like, "Fuck, this is a game changer, totally." And the biggest fight is not to educate people, but to actually tell them that they have been wrong all their lives, and tell them, "Oh, actually, this plant that you think is evil." Mm-hmm. It's actually pretty nice.
Pretty nice plant. It's a pretty good plant. No, I mean, as we all know, most useful plant literally on the planet.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the fight, and the fight we are doing here is not against. I mean, it's obviously for the legalization. As you guys know, it used to be at some point the Oklahoma of the U.S.
It
and in
sure
many
was.
cases it still is. But the greatest thing about Germany is whatever Germany does in Europe normally opens path for the rest of Europe to join.
Right.
So if Germany actually legalizes, it's awesome for the rest of Europe. So for us, it's not just about the legalization, it's about educating people. Hey, look, this plant that you hate all your lives is not only good for your health, it's also good for the environment. So let's all stop being like super against it, and let's embrace this gift that nature gave us. So that's what we're trying to do here.
That's awesome.
Fantastic cause.
And it's funny because on the drive up, I sent you that text from our old campaign from 2006, and it's like, you know, when you're in the hemp industry, one of the things you realize is that every day it's about educating, right? It's like just educating, because you get new people coming in, they've never seen it, and you need to like kind of bring it back to the beginning, and so you end up in this. You're in this zone where you're always educating people and
Always teaching.
And at a certain point, you will meet people who know the story already. And so when I watch what you guys are doing, I'm like, wow, this is so reminiscent. I mean, obviously, it's different political climate because we were in Amsterdam, and so we were like, we were talking for people didn't realize why we were doing what we were doing. We were like, yeah, but we're in Amsterdam. The rest of the world, it's not like this. You know what I mean? So we were always trying to wake people up. Mm-hmm. And so we did a campaign in 2006. You got that one there that I sent you? The thing we sent you earlier with the Band-Aid?
Yeah, but you grew pot out of it.
Yeah,
That's genius.
So what we were doing was we did a campaign for 1 year called Hemp First Aid for the Planet, right? Because we were like, the one thing that could heal the planet would be hemp. Here it is. Genius, so it's basically like a giant Band-Aid for the planet. And so what we did was we made a big giant Band-Aid, and I created a little pocket in it where I put a bunch of seeds, and then we would stick it to the side of a building. And because Amsterdam is so rainy, you never have to water it, right? Because the rain is almost every day. Right. So there'd be a little bit of rain, and they'd start to sprout. And of course, we knew it wasn't going to go to fruition because it was a small bag, but it definitely was an awesome little campaign. And it was like, oh, this feels like the one we did. We didn't do nearly as intense as you guys. I think we put up maybe 5 or 6 of them, but they were in strategic spots, and it was kind of cool to ride around and see them sprouting.
Well, kind of like when you were driving the other day.
Picture by itself, or Is it on underneath it?
Yeah, but bro, honestly, the joy of doing such a campaign, it's like everyone is going crazy. Bro, what the fuck have you guys done? And I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, the joy of doing such a thing and breaking some stuff, it's awesome. You're just going against everyone tells you to do, and you just go against it and just you do what you think it's right.
That is the weed way, right?
Awesome,
that is the weed way.
You're practicing the age-old philosophy of it is better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess that's
Disappearing into the ether over here, Mark. I'm fizzling away. I'm fizzling away.
So what is the legislative path right now to Germany really opening up? Because everyone says it's about to happen. What do you know about? You know, like is there a date when everyone is saying, okay, we're going to flip the switch, or there's going to be a vote? How's it work?
Honestly, it's been a bit of entanglement since forever, but
that long, huh?
But from what I have been, I'm not an expert, but from what I've been hearing from colleagues that work more like serious in the industry and lawyers, by the end of the year they plan to open it to clubs. So it's a similar system that they have in Spain, where clubs are allowed to grow for their subscribers or members, where this is supposed to happen till the end of the year, but obviously everything gets postponed all the time, so still unsure what's going to happen.
Well, one thing you know is that if Germany goes for it, like you were saying, not only will they other people follow, but the Germans will definitely make sure it is done correctly. You know, I mean, that's one thing they'll definitely do. They'll do.
That is so true.
Yeah, they'll 100% do.
It won't be like Colorado where they create new rules to fuck over the old rules every 6 months. You know, and
the thing about Germany is they have all the money, and they are the biggest economy in Europe. And for instance, I'm Portuguese, and we are a peripheral country in Europe, and normally the way the government thinks is if Germany does it, we can also do it because Germany did it.
Sure.
So they're the United States of Europe.
In a sense.
No, I would say that they're the most important states.
It's a little like how Cali. It's a little like how Cali does stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, because they're so overregulated in Cali that if you can get through the regulations in Cali, make it and be successful, then you could probably do it anywhere else. Because
it's kind of like the way the United States, flexes their might on the world stage. You know, we whatever's good for us. That's what we're going to say. We're the United States. I didn't necessarily agree with it, but I'm glad Germany is that leader, because you certainly wouldn't want them to be the scourge and they're the first to do it. You'd rather start with the people that everyone's going to listen to. And it just doesn't surprise me. They're so incredibly pragmatic. You know, they saw the path, they saw the financial upside for the country, and they went with it. Right? And
there are some countries that are already like more advanced than Germany, but once Germany does it, everyone does it. That's the feeling that everyone has in Europe, or at least from my understanding, talking with people from other countries, because they officially opened the door, so to say. Because you have countries where CBD is already selling openly, but there is other countries that it's totally bland, and officially opened the door for everyone to do it in Europe. And obviously, there are some rules that no one is sure about, and this is where the big investment is all waiting. Like, there's big groups, pharma groups, waiting with all their lights and infrastructure just in Austria or in Czech Republic, waiting with all this infrastructure to know if they need to set this up in Germany, or if they're gonna do it in Austria or Switzerland, because there's some people saying that all the weed that Germans consume need to be produced in Germany. So there's all these rules, but it doesn't matter what the rules are. what is important is something actually happens, right? And from there, I mean, yeah.
How is it going in Portugal? Because that's definitely one of the countries that, came out, legalizing everything, and then all of a sudden it was kind of like, okay, now we're not going to talk about it too much, and then all of a sudden you didn't really hear much, so which is usually means things are going good, because if it was going bad, you'd hear about it, right? So is that kind of the case, or is it getting? How'd it go?
Portugal is very advanced in one thing. I totally believe this is something that every country should follow, and Portugal was very smart that way. I'm very critical of a lot of politics in my country, but one thing that did well was decriminalizing a lot of drugs. So we're not going to point fingers at someone that consumes any type of drug. The policy of the government is to actually help that person instead of pointing fingers and say, oh, you're damaging our society, blah, 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 and throwing them in jail. The worst thing that can happen to you in Portugal is they take the drugs from you, unless you have a lot. a lot.
Yeah.
In that case, you're in trouble. But if in many countries, if you have drugs, you go to jail. In Portugal, if you have like a small amount of drugs, the police takes it from you and forwards you to not like mandatory, but they can
tries to give you some treatment or something.
Help center, treatment center, something like that.
Right.
So you don't go to jail.
What are considered hard drugs in Portugal, and what are considered soft drugs?
I honestly don't know exactly what is the boundary. I mean, I believe weed is a soft drug. If you go more into like heroin kind of stuff and meth and stuff, this could be more like of a hard drug. But I don't know exactly the boundaries, what is what. For instance, I don't know if cocaine fits more into one or the other. But
I think all powders and things are always considered hard drugs. Like in Holland, it was just hash and weed that was, in that soft category. And then, of course, mushrooms were kind of like quasi. They came in later.
Yeah,
and it wasn't,
exactly.
And so, technically speaking, all of those really need to have their own they should never be lumped together anyway, because they're all so different, right? So you have, those are more ethnobotanicals, and then you have, when you come to like ketamine and MDMA and things like that, I mean, they're not necessarily hard drugs, but they're therapeutic drugs that could be used properly.
Exactly.
But of course, take them all out to the desert and get 10,000. Now they're hard drug. There we go. Now it's therapy.
Right. Do they take him at Burning Man? Then it's a hard drug. Otherwise, no.
And that's a good classification.
And then, do you have a bunch of distribution out there right now in Berlin? I mean, is that one of the reasons you're there, I would imagine, for your company?
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, we're growing a lot in Germany.
Because they seem like a good market for you, because they're definitely eco-minded, have money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's always been the problem with hemp, is it's always been like, we're in a weird category because we're crossing over between obviously people who love weed, but then also people who love eco products, and then people who just love quality, understand quality, you know what I mean? So you get those, and then of course it's like, it's trending or not trending depending on the political situation, right? Like sometimes it's the hottest thing ever. It's going to change the world.
Totally
and then
right.
you don't hear about it for 10 more years, and then, hey, now it's back again.
CBD. No,
CBD definitely took the wind out of hemp for a little while there, because everybody now in America, they think hemp, they think of CBD, and you're like, no, that is not hemp. That's
not hemp.
But for instance, that's totally right. I mean, you just said it completely right. I mean, for us, it's Germany and California, very similar. And in both of them, they are in the intersection of sustainability and then cannabis. But there is a strong, there is a big community, the intersection between these two communities, and that's our sweet spot. But obviously, we cater to both, to people that to people that focus more on the cannabis and people that focus more on sustainability. But obviously we also have customers outside, but that's our sweet spot. It's in the middle of those. But in the end, our job is also to enlarge this community, is to educate people about the benefits of cannabis, so that we expand our target group and more people are sustainable, not because they want to, but because it's the best choice. So for us, it's not about just making cannabis shoes and say buy cannabis shoes because it's cannabis. It's about saying no, you're gonna buy cannabis shoes because it's better than polyester shoes that other brands do. So in this case, people will be like, okay, you're totally right. These shoes are more breathable, are lighter, are more durable, and they're even sustainable. And they're selling for the same price as other branded shoes from other expensive brands or non-expensive brands. So why am I making a decision on a non-sustainable product, but I can just buy a sustainable product that is made of cannabis, it's durable, it's waterproof, it's super light, it's breathable. It sounds like a no-brainer, and this is exactly where we want to go.
Yeah, exactly. No, and that was always I was always proud when people were like putting something on the counter at my shop, and then like I was like, oh wow, good choice, you know. And I'd be talking to them, and then I'd mention it was hemp, and they didn't even look in. They didn't even realize they were in a hemp store. They just walked into it. They thought, oh, this is a cool looking store. What's in here? Oh wow, I like this. This looks good. Bought it, and I'm explaining it to them, and I'm like, it's made out of hemp. They're like, really? This is hemp? And I was like, geez, you didn't even realize where you are. Where did you? You know what I mean? And then that made me feel good because it was like, it was a real choice on everything but the hemp. You know what I mean? And it sucks when people would buy it and they'd be like, I don't even want to care. I don't even want to look at it. It's just hemp. I'm buying it. It's like, okay, that's cool, but it wasn't as satisfying. You know what I mean? It was more like, exactly. I know you're buying it just because you think it's trendy or something. You know what I mean? Or it's cool or it connects you to weed or something. But in general, it's always, because that's the other problem with hemp products, and is a lot of times people focus on that part and then they don't focus on the quality. They don't focus on the final product. And so it's a lot easier when you just have a really good product and it's made out of hemp. It's like a bonus, that you can't lose. So there you go.
It's a great storytelling. And when people go to their friends and say, actually, my shoe is made of weed.
Yes,
but actually, funny story. I'm not sure if you guys saw our latest collection. We were sitting down, all the team, and we were like, hey guys, we have so many requests asking if our shoes are for smoking.
Right.
Why don't we actually make a shoe out of real weed?
There you go. Just the sole out of hash would be nice. You could just peel the sole every so often, You're like, hey, need a little break. Also, Moroccan shoes, right? They're famous. They stash all the weed in the bottoms of the thing. So you can come up with the
secrets away.
You can come up with the point too. Like that's not a fucking well-known secret, right? You could do the 2.0s. Why smuggle it in the shoe when it is the shoe? It's like it is
the TV.
It is exactly like Cheech and Chong. It's definitely up in smoke. It's fiber weed. We finally cracked the code for fiber weed. It's happening. Well, that's awesome.
So what's phase 2? How are you going to take this to the next level now?
I cannot really.
No, he's got big stuff coming up. You already heard. See how excited he is.
It's crazy, guys. I have some, because when we had this, so we were a bit high when we came up with this idea.
No way.
You don't say.
No. Yeah, really?
Who's got a lighter out there? Anybody with a lighter?
Don't throw it. No, do you have a lighter?
No. Yeah, it's kind of hard from there to hand it over. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Boom.
I have a lighter here for you guys.
This is Adam's. This is the first one. This is MK Ultra.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. There's a good one.
No, sorry. It's the GMO.
Oh, I got it's also good. It's also good. It's not mine in particular, but.
Yeah, but we were a bit high when we came up with this idea of invading Berlin with plants. But then, one idea pulls another one and another one and another one.
Yeah.
And we're like, guys,
it's like the A-team
there's
now.
no way we're not going to execute all of this.
Did you just say you're invading Berlin
I know,
with plants?
I know. He's pushing it. But now you need to do like an A-team thing now, like a montage, right? Do a montage with all the shots of you guys running around, and then you need to have a shot of you smoking a giant joint, going, I love it when a plan comes together, and then that's it. You got your little A-team, dun 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 dun. Because you got the van, you got the van and the plan, and you got all the little things going on, so it's perfect montage material, right? What happened there? What happened?
I rolled it too big.
Yeah,
I need the blunt. Where's
We
our
normally don't put those things on our open face Instagram channel. We have a close friends group where we have to add you guys there,
Yeah,
where
give
we
us all the
put
links.
some of the more crazy things that we cannot really publicly post, you know. So
Those are the best ones. Those are the best ones.
those are the best ones, yeah. But we cannot really just put those in the public, right?
No, we have to
But-
put it out there. If we don't put it out there, who else will? I mean, you're proving that right now with what you're doing in
Yeah, sure.
Berlin. You're the pioneer out there, and you're forcing the dialogue, because nobody. I mean, how do you walk past that plant and not start talking? Especially in Germany, where they have their reputation of being so tight-assed. They're going to see that. They're going to stop. There's going to be dialogue. People are going to talk about it. You put your branding on it. They're going to be, were there QR codes, or did it just say 8000Kicks.com? Like somebody wants to walk past, click, oh, got it. Cool.
But you know what's the funniest thing? I'm not sure if you noticed in this video that you just played. By today, and even yesterday, when we were going around in the streets, a lot of people were already taking the plants home. So this is the funniest thing. Eh?
Yeah, no. Good.
Everyone is carrying. I mean, this.
Too bad when they
in the video.
flower them out.
We
They're like,
filmed this.
God, this didn't really get me
We
on.
put it in the video, but it actually happens in reality. People just see weed and they just like take the plants home, and they're like carrying the plants, like this guy did in the video, and he was just running around with the plant to the metro, and we were going around today and yesterday. We're going around, and we see people carrying the plants because it's 500 of them. So you see people carrying the plants.
No, you definitely want
Just tell me you got video footage of that. That's the reaction shot.
We have a scene where a guy actually took the plant and carried the plant on his shoulder. We got a scene where we just thought it was funny, but we didn't expect it to happen. Today we were in the activation. We put a lot of plants in our area. By the time we left, there were only some left. I mean, there were only a few. There were like 8. A lot of people took the plants and just took them home, and we just, just took them home. Man.
That's so great. That's so great.
Yeah. They disappeared. We got one shot of a guy running with the plant, if you see in the video. But that was during the filming. We didn't expect it to happen, but it really happened. Almost by now, all plants almost completely gone.
Are there people reaching out to you saying, I got one of your plants? Go to your website, get a little contact form.
Well, that'll be
Thank
fun.
you so much.
It's going to be fun to see.
Yeah,
It's going to be fun to see
excited.
the responses coming out, because I'm sure plenty of people are going to contact you after all this.
Well, they're going to contact you to go, I tried to smoke that, man. I didn't read the part where it was just hemp.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was grass.
False advertising.
Yeah, that's false advertising, man.
No. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, but one funny thing was part of the plants. We saved them for the last day, for after the. So we deliver almost all plants in the same night. Some of them we deliver in the day, during the day after. So we went to all media stations. So we went to RBB, to Ex-Berliner, to Bild, to all these big TV, radio stations.
Das Spiegel. You have to, that's the only one I remember. Das Spiegel.
Yeah, and everyone was, it was a mix of people very angry at us with people very happy at us. You know?
Really? That's fun.
For sure.
Everyone was very shocked, but at the same time very happy.
Well, I'm waiting for you're going to zoom in one Friday, and you're going to say, guys, I got some news to share. And it's going to be a video of German Polizei. Some guy walking away with it, taking it into his house, like not bringing it to the station. And like, shit, you can't beat him? Join him.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I'm right now, I'm very happy. I'm not arrested.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so are all our listeners.
we are proud of you, man. It's awesome. So if you want to, Instagram everywhere, 8000Kicks, pretty much standard, easy to find. Also will be available here, right where we're at the here in Denver. If you're in Denver and you want to come by our studio, we will have your bags. Actually, we're using one of your the big bags now. Like, we've taken it in. We've taken it into the family we're like, we got to keep this one. This is the family backpack now. It's all the whole family. It's the whole family.
What do you mean? What's the European equivalent of an 11 wide?
It's big, man. I'm telling you, the thing's huge. You unroll it, you're like, okay, this is a good one. So
it's small, but it becomes very big. It's perfect for traveling like on airplanes because it's exactly the size that you can carry.
Yeah.
We measured it to the limit, so that it expands as much as you can carry and until you can pay, right? Or I mean, until the limit that you have to pay, right?
Sure.
So that makes it a perfect travel bag.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. So
European travel
check
approved.
them out. 8000Kicks. We're gonna have to run now. We got other guests coming into the studio.
Auf Wiedersehen, mein Freund.
Be careful out there.
No sprechen Sie Deutsch.
You know, definitely there.
I mean, I only know what to say. Nein, sprech Deutsch.
You did well, because imagine if you did speak German.
No, it's better not to.
A conversation
I learned early on in those situations it's best not to speak the language because then the cops are like, we don't want to waste more time with this guy. Forget
I'm
about
just
it.
a stupid foreigner. I'm here by mistake.
But the
I don't
minute
know anything.
if you open the door just a little bit and give them a little bit, they're like, oh, so you'd think, so yeah, good luck. Yeah, good job on that one, man. Thank you.
Thanks for stopping in. We'll put your website up on the chat and everyone get in
Thanks
touch
for
with you.
inviting me. It was a great pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and we'll see you again.
See you soon.
When you have your when you're about to announce the big stuff, tell us and we'll get you on again.
And we'll send you all our shoe sizes after this, so get those shoes when they come.
Sounds good.
right.
Send them over.
Peace.
Thanks, Jan.
Peace, guys. Have a good one.
All right. So we have the studios filling up as we were doing it. So
There's like 100 people here right now. I can't believe it. Vinny, what's the legal occupancy of this place? Because 100, I think, is over.
33, right? 33.
Yeah.
We're lucky. We got a great number.
Great number.
33. I think we're okay. There's
Half of the devil.
Is it?
Yeah, well,
Not
it's
really.
those numbers.
Not really.
Yeah,
Like
if there was
20th.
333.
1/20th of the devil.
Well, Mark is all devil.
So we got Young Dirty Bastards in the house. We're going to have him come rolling in. For real this time. See, everybody said, I'll believe it when I see it. And, they're going to have to see it soon.
Do you know how many messages I've got saying, Dave, please don't say Wu-Tang and McClan?
Oh, yeah, don't say Wu-Tang and the Clan.
That's how I roll. Just don't. Because, you said Devin and the Dude, and people have been making fun of you for 6 months.
Yeah, so now you understand. It's not the Clan.
We have the sign up right there. We have put that on there right there.
There we go. We always.
I've been around.
That came with the place too. So here, jump on in here. You can jump on in whenever. You can come over here. Yeah, you can jump in.
You gotta see what
No dicks.
No jumping on, nothing. So you can come here, and I got another seat over there if you got another guy who wants to come on.
Where we at, Rob? Come over here.
Oh, no camera on him.
No, it's okay. Vinny will take care of it. Don't
Mark
you
is
worry.
almost about to break. I can see it, and he might hit me.
Yeah.
This might be the show he hits me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's like, please.
We'll get you on that side over there. Vinny, show him the way.
Come right here.
Show him the way.
Hey, that's perfect. I'm gonna come closer to you.
Okay, that's no problem. We can do that too.
Yeah, many a guest has said that.
Dun, dun. So lots of traffic. You got to experience Colorado traffic because of it's all because of a stupid concert, right?
Come on this side.
Taylor
I gotta
Swift.
you over here. Oh, you guys are in town for the Taylor Swift concert?
My homie Buzz. I'm here for her. He was like, Dirty, we gotta go to the Taylor Swift. I said, man, how we gonna get in?
Yeah, you can get into
This is on. We on?
We're on. We're always live.
We don't got tickets to go on to Taylor Swift, but he was like, man, you know who you is? I said, but you know who Taylor Swift is? I was like,
those girls would be mad if you took off
right there so you can hear.
If you need these, want to grab those.
This is Wild Bill.
That's your Wild Bill hat?
This is Wild Bill.
Welcome.
Introduce everybody, Adam.
Well, we have the man himself, Young Dirty Bastard, in the house.
Peace. What up, man? What up, Adam?
What up? Nice seeing you again.
Yeah.
And you got your homie,
Hey, I'm Sun Kid Raw right here.
Sun Kid Raw.
You know, I'm also CEO of Cowboys Tech and Cowgirls Tech.
And this is out in Oklahoma, I assume?
Based out of New York.
Oh, okay. Because I
World Trade.
Of course. Well, where else would you expect to see cowboy hats except for New York? And you got what's your name?
Peace, Xavier. How you doing?
All right. And
Welcome.
Sweet. And you're based out of here or based out of where are you from?
Brooklyn.
Oh, awesome. So we got Brooklyn. So Flushing, Queens over here, Sunnyside originally.
Okay.
You want a shot?
No, thank you.
we all here.
He's heavy right now. He's heavy.
You enjoying Colorado? When did you get to Colorado?
What's up?
What's this?
That's a Dab X.
Oh, yeah, we got.
Oh, no. That should look dangerous.
That's right.
Yeah. Do you guys dab?
No, I can't do none of that. I'm a commercial truck driver and
I
against federal regulations.
Gotcha.
Sad, ain't it?
I know. They got to do all the weird drugs. All those guys do all the weird stuff. Everything around the good ones, right? It's like, yeah, we can do that, but we can't do that. We can do a lot of mushrooms, right? We can't test for mushrooms. That's don't know if I want truckers on mushrooms though. That's a combo. It's not quite.
That'd be the worst, right?
I think it depends on the trucker.
I think he asked the question.
Yeah, he was just wondering when you came into town.
What day we got here, guys?
Ooh, it's a Colorado.
Right up to that.
It's a Colorado question right here. It's like I don't
Show
know.
was the 22nd? No, we didn't.
23rd, yeah, because the show's
Oh, we're talking about the beginning of it.
for a long time. Dirty left me out here.
Yeah, so yeah, I didn't leave you out here. I said I was coming back and I came back.
Yeah, because we linked up. So the whole time since the last time you were here, he's been hanging here.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, he left. He did kind of leave you.
Yeah,
he did kind of leave you.
And you didn't come by the studio at all. We had a home here.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, Vinny's here every day, trying to slang coffee.
Trying to sign coffee?
We got the fire coffee here if you guys need. You already got some good shit right there.
So High Cafe, 4300 West Alameda. Vinny's here from 5 in the morning until 12 at night, right? Something like that.
Oh, nonstop.
But he's here.
Nonstop.
He sells coffee. We have Ozo. Check it. Ozo, baby.
Ozo.
We'll send you some. We'll send you home with some.
Ozo, not Bozo. Ozo.
Definitely not. So when is the show?
Well,
when was the show?
When was the show? It was on the 23rd.
Okay.
We started on the 23rd. It was a Paul Wall show. And I was telling Slow, listen, you ain't got to pay me. I want to chill with Paul Wall. You know what I'm saying? So we get to the show. He's like, yo, this VIP is for Paul Wall. We got no room for you guys. I'm like, okay. So let's just do our mic check. You can't do the mic check. Let him do his celebrity signing. I was like, damn, everything is like crucial. But everything was peace. Paul Wall is the man, you know? Riding on foes.
Yes, sir.
And then, so that was like a private show or?
That was a real show.
Oh,
it was at Sunnyside, right?
Sunnyside Studios. Shout out to Sunnyside. That was our first,
That's where we started.
Yeah. That's where we started.
We was originally coming out here for the 30th. Mm-hmm. And we was basically trying to raise some money. Not trying, we did raise money for the old auditorium in Colorado. Sunshine. No, hold on, get it right. No, my bad. Colorado motherfucking
Springs. We love the Springs.
Shit.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Hell's Raisers.
And then last time you guys were here,
we about to talk.
Well, it sounded like a scene from a movie right there, where you're about to say, "Hey, thank you, everybody in Colorado," and they're like, "Yo, we're in Jersey right now."
You gotta make sure you get it right.
That ever happened?
It happened just now, baby.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Yo, I noticed though out here it is a lot of homelessness, and it's very sad. You know, it's just like really sad. Man.
I was doing some research earlier. I showed Raw that people in California is actually they get paid for the more people to be homeless.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, government.
Well, I mean, Colorado's definitely attracted. Because a lot of it has to do because how nice people are here, you know what I mean? Like when you're out on the streets and on the West Coast, people ain't really taking care of you that much. But out here, you see like carpool. I always give weed whenever I can to people. I give mushrooms to people. So I think there's a lot of people like me out there that are like, hey, you know what? Boom. And so I feel that's part of it is that people get, the farther you go west, the less heart there is, Right. So there's a lot of that going on. And then, it's a small place, so it's going to be all condensed in a little zone, but I mean across the country it's fucked up right now with the homeless situation because it's like we're definitely in a totally different vibe than when we were growing up. You know what I mean? There there was always been
Yeah,
homeless,
always.
but now it's like there's families. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? There's
yeah.
multi-generations of families that are homeless, and you're like, oh fuck, that's not good. You know?
It's not good at all.
Because there's some people that just want to be there. Like that's, you know, you put them in a house, they'll fucking go nuts. You know what I mean? They're like, no, they need no walls. You know what I mean? And then but that's a small percentage. The ones that are like don't want to be there, that's when it's fucked up.
Right.
You were doing, I think last time when you were here, because a friend of mine said, hey, because they saw the flyer from the time we were having on the show before, and they were like, hey, your guy just showed up here at our event. So it was a homeless it was a...
Oh, shout out to Cuesta.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so Cuesta is a celebrity cook, celebrity chef. He's always helping the government, helping the children, helping everybody. He helps me. When I was hungry at a show, Wu-Tang wasn't feeding me, he came out of nowhere and blessed me with a plate. Everybody could vouch. He make the best food in the world.
Yeah,
For real.
definitely.
He make food for Kim Kardashian.
The vegan. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then they had they were doing like haircuts and all kinds of stuff like that, right?
Yeah, there was. Oh, we played a celebrity game. We was there to really just be there for the food and everything. As soon as I seen the basketball court, it was over.
Oh yeah.
I was networking. It was like a black kid seeing watermelon. It was over. It went down. Now we played for like 2 hours straight. The children was good. The children was all sitting there all quiet, and then we just took the energy and elevated it.
The local community center here. So they were feeding the homeless. We also seen a homeless man in the bathroom with a guitar, which was lovely, you know.
Oh yeah, when we first walked into the community center, he was in there. It was like he had no shirt on. It was just
he was naked.
It was that natural dead necky, you know. He was just like proud of it.
Ball swinging.
Yeah, I was like, yo, we need ball swinging.
Might need to tone that down.
He was sweaty.
Give him a towel.
I was like, we should make a song. He was like, whenever you're ready. I'm always here. Shit.
That's the title of the song?
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. I'm always here.
I'm always here. Ooh.
That is a good.
Did you do the classic old man thing where he puts the one leg up, you know? And then that's when you know, like the old sauna move, you know? You're like, okay, guy, leg up is not in my.
I'm gonna tell people who don't know a secret. Well, since we're talking about the one leg up, boys and girls, mind you, for your intestines, when you're sitting on the toilet, you want to put a little stool in front of you and put your legs on top of it so you can release all of that toxicity. You get all that out of you. So even if you don't have a stool, I just did it over there. I put my legs up and I released. And now I'm cleansing, boys and girls. All them maggots, all them nasty parasites, trichinosis, get it out you.
Legs up. Squatty potty. You need to get your own squatty. You should have like a celebrity squatty potty, man. That'd be kind of cool.
Dirty squatty.
Dirty squatties. Yeah, I like it.
If anybody from Squatty Potty is listening, we're open to advertising suggestions, and we can get you in touch with
Dirty Squatty.
Yeah, Dirty Squatty.
I naturally laugh every day because I have Tourette's, so I naturally gotta laugh when I talk. But Dirty has me dying.
It makes extra Tourette's.
You should have been. You should definitely been a comedian, and maybe we should do that.
Well, you should be getting royalties from Squatty Potty if you're just giving them free advertising.
I mean, right now, exactly.
I mean, shit. Howard's been talking about them for years on the air, and they were advertised on that show, and that's how they went
Stern?
huge. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My dad did an interview one time with him.
Yeah, he's the greatest. Greatest of all time.
And he talked about the Shinnecock Indians on there.
Oh yeah, the Shinnecock, they're definitely killing it right now with cannabis and stuff too. Like my friend was supposed to. That was a big dummy deal right there. It was like, but
Did it work?
No, of course not. Yeah. Of course not. That's like it's very hard to work with tribes on anything like that. Right. But they're in such a unique position because it's like you got to get to the Hamptons via them, right? And they got this. They got it on lock, right? So they're just like, come on in, pick up your cannabis on your way up to the Hamptons. You know, it's like it's a ideal situation.
Right. Yeah, but it can't be an ideal situation if Big Dummy was involved.
No, that was in the beginning. But when you meet him, like, because I was there with him in one of the original meetings, and I was like, this is definitely not your normal tribe right here. It's like there was no single person in there that even looked Indian at all. Like they were, American Indian. It's
hard, right?
But it was good to see though. It was good to see that it was like, obviously there are percentages of, but yeah.
Well, speaking of tribe, we me and Sun Kid Raw over here, and Xavier, we want to basically have these little teepees, big teepees, put a little DJ equipment in them, and put them all around the world. Yeah. And then we have a little shop, and people come in and they go out happy, and that's that. bring it back.
I thought when you said put them around the world, I'm like, wait, we can get them in touch with 8000Kicks, and you can be handing them out all over Germany right now.
No, I mean, well, you gotta get the equipment, and you gotta actually. It's like a tent, but it's a teepee. You gotta put it together. Ron can tell you.
Yeah, we
more
both
about it.
are indigenous. You know, I'm Native American Seminole. My mom was born in Miami, Florida. So you know, Dirty's people is Shinnecock, right?
Yeah.
Shinnecock Indian and out of Brooklyn. So you know, that's where our roots. You know, we are all American right here. It's hard to see us.
Oh no, we see you pretty much zoomed in on you, so don't worry.
Right where Central Park was. That's our headquarters.
Yeah.
Now everything has changed in Central Park. Yeah, the whole Manhattan. We used to be all through Manhattan. Yeah, and we know. It's just that they don't give that type of knowledge out, which is cool. What is old can be new one day and restored if we give that power back to the generator.
Well, that's like the philosophy of if everybody doesn't show up on Monday, somebody's got to listen.
Hope you come to school.
Right? If everybody doesn't show up, somebody's got to dialogue with you.
Right.
I got some 18 behind you. What are you doing
that
tomorrow?
One. That's yours. Okay, everyone has their own filter, then we don't have to.
You saw that
it's
18,
like
right?
It's a Yo
It's
Tips
one of our
commercial.
sponsors. One of our sponsors.
Shout out to Yo Tip.
Yeah.
Here's a pack here for you. There's 4 in there. But the idea then is like, if you're in a group, sometimes you come home and now you're fucked because one guy brought whatever to the party and that didn't help.
So what's the famous military out here?
Oh yeah, U.S. Army,
Colorado Springs Air Force Academy.
Air Force.
Yeah, so we was out there, and we kept seeing soldiers pull up and pass
Springs?
us. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're
Space Force.
And then
we love you.
Yeah, Space Force is there.
Thank you.
a young lady
service.
back there. Her name is Miranda. And
out to Miranda.
she pulled up. So we invited her to the house. You know what I'm saying? First she told us we was going to a house. It was a couple of girls there. We was gonna watch a projector movie. That changed. She was like, okay, if I invite these girls, they're probably gonna only focus on the other girls. So I figured she pulled up an hour later, and she was like, guys, I want you to come to the top of the mountain. It was like nighttime. We never met her really. She was trying to drive us. I don't know what she gonna do to us. No, she's gonna kill us. We ain't know anything. But she's right here, standing here. She's a good lady, and we're trying to learn how to trust her. And she stole something from us, but she gave it back. And everything is good. And we're not using the cameraman. A cameraman is vicious.
I see that.
Yeah.
The cameraman?
Yeah.
Our camera.
Our guy. Yeah, he's,
But she's a young lady and she's rising. She's like a PR. She's like a booking agent, and she has a lot of.
Also out of the Springs.
She's
Very
right there.
good.
I know,
skill
no,
set.
she's there, but I'm saying
She has a lot of skill.
I can't talk.
She's really intuitive.
Good.
Right? And shout out to Mom. Without Mom, we wouldn't even have a house.
Shout out to Nicole.
Yeah.
Holding
Nicole,
Love you,
we
Nicole.
call her Mom, but
Mama
Nicole
Wu.
actually, she's the one
Mama
who
Wu.
she blessed us with a house when we was down here. We didn't have nothing.
Everything in the house is Wu-Tang. Everything.
Really?
Cups, mugs,
Oh, that's awesome.
shots.
That's funny.
Everything. Fortnite.
Wu-Tang house.
Click that one back in your. Just give it a little twist as it goes in.
I'm still laughing about some other shit. Man, I wish you could talk about that shit last night.
Hold up. What they call them? The skin savers? Whatever.
Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers?
You follow the right energies, the right things happen.
Wait,
Oh,
your mic's
microphone.
not on.
Hold on one sec.
When you follow the right energies, the right things happen.
Keep going.
The only outcome could be the outcome that you want if you choose for it to be that outcome. And you just gotta look deeper into every aspect of every second of your life. Because if you're not paying attention, you're gonna continue to live in the same cycle of that existence. So to continue to keep creating tangents of new possibilities, you have to always look deeper into every second of what you're doing.
That was too deep for me.
And then where did the aliens come in? I want to know about the skinwalkers and the aliens. That's what I'm done.
But it was deep. I love that.
That was good.
Well, we don't want to talk too much about the ETs. But
Yes, we do.
Colorado is a good spot for that, though. I'm telling you, if you.
I mean,
We'd
we
like
are,
to talk about it.
We are the ETs, though. It's like talking about myself over and over again.
right.
It makes no sense. I'm not conceited.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ETs.
Well, I was born in Brooklyn, 1989, and I never made a movie. I watched E.T., the first movie. He didn't look nothing like me. He was actually ugly. They made every movie. They always make me ugly. I don't know why. Even the Predator, they make me ugly with a nasty mouth. Actually got real good teeth and a nice smile, and they always make me ugly. Even the long-headed guy. Back then we had cone heads, and we used most of our brain and intelligence, and we was so conscious that the ETs are still here. It's just that we only took 60 years to build everything back after we was in slavery. So everything's coming. It only took 60 years. So the ETs are here. It's just some people get funding and inventions, and they hold most of the inventions back because they don't want us to advance too quick. And I respect it. If you have a whole city advance too quick, then how could you weather the storm?
I am actually thinking that if you would have been here 2 weeks ago, you and Tim from Fungi Farms would have had an amazing conversation. Don't you think?
Oh, I know.
Was 2 weeks.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it would have been.
We were thinking it was going to clash. Now I'm realizing it would have been the best show ever. We'd have had the best show ever.
The only thing he could say the whole night long, though, was, "I know the answer.
Damn.
Are you with me?
Are you with me?
Are you with me?
Yeah, and the Matrix is real.
And the Matrix is
so
real.
he pretty much, that was the whole...
No, he wrote to me. He's feeling a little better. And he'll come back on next week or in a couple of weeks.
We all were in the middle of a situation.
I do know one thing.
Yeah?
You know
more than one thing.
Well, it's not an answer. It's not an answer.
Okay.
It's just a conscious thing. If you turn off the clocks, then you don't have the Matrix. You see
Turn off the
222. You know when you're in perfect sequence, you feel good about it.
Sure.
444. We was driving, we see 444.
Yep.
But imagine if the clock was turned off and we was just seeing trees. You would have a lot to figure out. It would just be 3 animals or 3 eggs.
Right.
You ain't counting them shits unless you eating them. So the Matrix is only a computer.
Yeah,
in all reality.
Time is definitely something completely made up situation. I mean, it's funny because my wife and I, we're like, every night around 3 o'clock in the morning, we're like, why are we so fucking awake all the time? It's like, we're like on a completely different schedule, you know what I mean? It's like, this is the way we are. But it's
Party.
Like, some people, like Dave's asleep by what, 8 o'clock? 9:30?
We complement each other. I'm getting up when you're going to bed.
Like I'll be typing something and he'd be like, he's just like, I'm thinking I'm about to go to bed and he's just popping it. Like, oh fuck, here we go. Hand off.
Well, it's a rule of the show. We have to make sure one of us is awake at all times, just to make sure if anything comes up, we're there to observe it. Wow. Dedication to our listeners out there.
Shout out to the listeners.
Yeah.
Dedication.
Yeah, dedicated.
The Adam Dunn Show.
That's
Adam Dunn.
So tell me about growing up from '89 in Brooklyn, because that's with the Wu-Tang family. I mean, it's fucking crazy life, obviously in itself. But
well, the trick is, well, there's no trick, but the truth is that I was born under the big umbrella. Like, you know, when you're in house, when the rain hits, it hits all the fans, but I'm in the house, so no rain ain't hitting me. My father's naturally speaking to me. So he's practicing and rehearsing his vocals to my mom, to me, to my sisters, and we all just taking it in it's natural selection. It's not really him building outside and trying to figure out what's going on. He's like telling us what's going on and how we supposed to act and behave outside. So it was more like my father was a deep genius. And he was so deep in genius, he knew his whole plan and how he wanted to be him before he even got to be him on TV. He told my mom, even with the welfare card, he had all of that planned out. He said, if I do the welfare card, they're gonna consider me as being one of the realest motherfuckers that ever did it.
right.
And the welfare card is basically putting you on the level of the people. And be on the level of the people is, I was about to say something crazy, but being on the level of the people is harder for any man that's this high, with so much limelight on him, to comprehend. You know? That's why he was so raw. You know, he just was always, my mom couldn't even sometimes leave the house until she taught us certain things. Like knowledge to knowledge cipher. Like we had to know how to knowledge our cipher before being devoured by misleading information. You know? There's like a lot of misleading information on the internet nowadays, and we just gotta like know from my brothers and sisters what knowledge we should take in, what we can eat. You can't eat all food. some food can have you shitting for days, and your maggot might get stuck in your brain called trichinosis. So you got to be real careful.
Stay away from the pork.
Don't eat undercooked pork.
Get away. Stay away from that.
Yes. Yeah, keep going, Adam.
No.
Cook it,
Our
man.
human resources director.
What's
is
your
told
name,
me-
man?
I'm Dave.
Dave! Shout out to Adam and Dave, man.
But yeah, that was so. And I mean, you born in '89, but your dad died when you were still pretty young. So I mean, at the end of the day, obviously affects everybody. I mean, my dad died when I was 20, so I was like, young, and like all of a sudden it was like, definitely makes you, you miss out on a lot, obviously. But at the same time, he was so public, and there's so much out there,
So much out there.
and so much love for him. And I mean, the best part is, like you're saying, he's so real that like you had to understand that to get past all that. Like other people, if they didn't know that, they'd be like, holy fuck, this guy is out of his fucking mind, because he definitely put it on hard, you know what I mean? Out of everybody in the Wu-Tang clan, he was definitely always the most out of control. But probably not.
Adam, when I was in first grade, that was the first time I got left back. It was in Queens, Onslow Park, New York. And they left me back because I was one of the only black children in the school at the time. And we lived around the corner from John Gotti's family or something like that. And it was a crazy time and shit. It was in Queens. Mm-hmm. And I was young, I didn't know what was going on, but before we went to school, my father already taught me the principles of life. So at age 7, I already knew that the teacher was he was the best knower. So we go into the school, the teacher couldn't even control the students. I know when we sit in front of my father, we sat down in Indian style. So I'm like, okay, something is backwards. Mm-hmm. And then that's why I started getting suspended until 9th grade. I finally walked out of school and said, this is not for me. And then I started to build my own education. I started talking to my brothers and sisters, white, black, yellow, and we started to learn each other. And everything was peace. Right.
Our educational system is not built for people in the margins. It is built for those right in the middle who don't argue, who don't raise their voice, who are easy to teach according to the teachers, who get along. But those who question, those who stand up, that are independent, you're labeled a troublemaker.
Right.
We have something for you. It's called a drug. Let's put you on it instead of a better teacher.
I mean, I feel bad now for kids in school, because it's like, there's no way I would have made it through school without getting medicated at some point. What I mean? If they could have had the power to do that, you know what I mean? But nowadays, it's like
I wouldn't go as far as being sleep. Since you're talking about drugs, I think even the economy was always woke. Even if it crashed, it was always woke. Even after the rebuild, and I respect it, because I think we definitely need a rebuild now. No matter what people say, if we don't rebuild, we're gonna keep destroying everything. So we're sitting down with these great leaders, and sometimes you gotta take a vaccine to rebuild. Sometimes you gotta kill a couple of people over here to rebuild. But to rebuild is like, it's putting this 5% and separating this 20%, and you're making a beautiful percent. It's that big, and I understand it completely.
That was some interesting math right there.
Exactly.
A beautiful percent. And that's what we're trying to do, and I understand it completely. I went all the way to being so mad at the world. I was like, them guys are actually right. If we don't rebuild now, there won't be no more tomorrow.
Well, we're the most polarized we've been in at least my memory of what's been going since the 60s here in the country. So a change is afoot. Something is going to happen.
It's inevitable at that point. I mean, definitely we're in a huge amount of change. Like, it's one of those things where none of us could probably 5 years ago have said, oh, this is what's going to be happening, because it just fucking broadsided us.
Yeah, I'm accepting the weather change. Because if we don't accept the weather change, then we don't accept how we make rules in the house. You tell your child to clean up, that's changing the weather. Just clean up your insides and clean up the glory that you want, and then you can change the weather slowly, and everybody will slowly fall into place. I respect it. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Back to
Back to reality.
right.
Back to life. Back to reality.
So
Shout out to Bill Gates.
Bill Gates,
What?
Warren
You know,
Buffett.
he's about to fucking block out the sun. I don't know if we really want to give him any shout outs.
But if you keep giving,
I'll just take his money,
Wait,
but I don't.
wasn't he on the submarine?
no, let me get it.
He wasn't on that submarine.
Mark Zuckerberg.
No, that would have been a much
for buying
better.
all of Hawaii.
That would have been a much better mission. But no, Bill Gates, we're not big fans of him. He's definitely got some ulterior
I
motives.
say-
His laugh is too fucked up.
Yo,
like he
without-
fucking just starts giggling in between things. You're like, you're like, okay, this guy's talking about people dying, like, and he's giggling like a fucking
pretty
weirdo.
scary.
Well,
Right?
it might be
I
the
can't-
same person operating the remote control as him and Zuckerberg. That's why they have the similar laugh, because you know they got
They both are creepy, man. It's like there's like you talk about
what?
skinwalkers.
My
There's some
grandpa-
fucking skinwalkers right
My
there.
grandpa said, "What would we be out without the evil brother?" You know, we would just be laughing and laughing and laughing until somebody starts to crack. And when he starts to notice that these brothers are laughing, but the sisters are not laughing. The sisters are sitting there with a serious face.
Uh-oh.
And
That's not a good. That's not a good.
that is when Bill comes into play. Bill is the brother that has to come. He's more like
Dark Vader.
He's more like I wouldn't go that far. It's
Definitely,
not just,
definitely Spaceballs. He can play that character.
No,
He
you
can
know
do
what?
Spaceballs.
Bill Cosby is more like the guy who taught the family how to do things in the house. But when you got outside, you got to understand something could bite you in the butt.
right, like a Quaalude.
And yes.
Definitely.
Allegedly. No, wait, he got convicted for that. So Quaaludes.
I respect Bill the Dollar Bill. You know what I'm saying? Because I know his father that nobody knows. Because everybody wants to know the father, but everybody was put here to play a part. And if you don't play your part, then you're not even being yourself. Like I was probably here to be humble, but some people would be here to be the running back and to get to the touchdown. Some people are here to just lift weights. Some people are here to be Megamind. You know what I'm saying? And Bill, and it's like Megamind. And Megamind had a lot of ideas.
He's a bit of a thief too.
Okay.
He stole everything. He stole everything in the beginning.
Bill,
That's why I don't trust that.
What if Bill didn't put those people together in that room to show the world?
I don't fault him for any of his ideas, whether or not where it came from. You know, I mean, he's done really great things for this country, but he is a billionaire multi times over. And somebody tried to explain it to me once. I hope I get the numbers right. But the way the financial equation works is for every 30,000 poor people creates a billionaire.
Right.
Because they've removed their ability to have that wealth from society. The billionaire makes money off of those 30,000 falling below poverty.
Right.
We're in a system that is built to fuck the regular person over. So there has to be some way to, right, the 6 Walmart people control, 40% of the wealth of the country. Until we fix those problems, everything that we're talking about here is what they want us to talk about, because they know no change will happen until that wealth is redistributed to all of us. Not in a communist way, but in a way that is not so fucking disproportionate. 6 oligarchs?
It's like Warren Buffett the other day did. He said he could solve the entire $34 trillion debt, and it had nothing to do with him putting any money in. It was about his idea. I was like, really? You should be the guy paying for it, not fucking. He was like, yeah, just tax all the people in the Congress, X amount if if it falls below this point, and then they'll all fucking fall into line, which makes sense. But it's also like you could also round up 3 of your friends and then just go, boom, it's done. Done deal.
He's 54. I'm 53. Okay.
8 and 9.
Think about this for a sec. We might be alive. We might be alive to witness the first individual trillionaire. That's fucked up. Fucked up.
I thought we'd already have one by now.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not gonna say it's not messed up, but I'm saying even when they had pyramids, it was still people outside of the pyramids that had to hold it up sometimes.
Yeah, but there are also people at the end of a whip that were told, get to fucking work. You know?
But there's more to it. Now, we could have never had the pyramids, or we could have had a story of people getting whipped. What if we would have never had neither? Then we wouldn't have an understanding of where we're going. To know where we came from is to know where we're going.
Well, what they did was they robbed King Tut's tomb to fund World War I. That's what they did.
No shit. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's what they did. So
Germans did, or
It's inside baseball with Adam Dunn here.
I mean, it was a little bit of everybody.
they're all in.
Because wars feed the pockets of billionaires, because they're the ones that sell to both sides of the fence. I wouldn't be surprised if what's going on in Ukraine and Russia, they're buying the weapons from the exact same people when you figure out where it was eventually manufactured. It's all bullshit. If we're focusing on it, it means we're not dealing with the real problem. And the real problem is the massive disproportionate amount of wealth in this country.
Just relax,
Very
bro.
few people have it. We have to deal with that first.
Right. Very few people have wealth.
Very few people have access to the wealth anymore because it's controlled
You
by
saying
so
that
few people.
somebody's in the middle of us stopping the wealth.
No, they've hoarded all the money already, you know? Again, the 6 Walmart guys, and somebody look the number up, I'm close, control way too much. You know, we have so many problems, we can deal with them, but that should be the first one.
I know one thing. We all started from moms and dad's stores. And now when people see a Walmart, they get all shaky. Remember, the river gotta grow. If the river don't grow, how you gonna feed all the new babies that's being here, put here?
Well, if your rent is like $2,800 a month,
yeah,
in a 1-bedroom, and you know how New York is.
New York is
so
ridiculous.
I don't even. And out here too,
2,800. That's cheap.
You know,
Four is
and
starting point.
You
Wait,
live in
you got
check to check.
2,800 in New York? Where is it? Is it rented? Hold on a second. In Manhattan?
Yeah, it's probably a room. It's probably a room, you know, but or a subsidized rent. But what they have a rotating system in New York when it comes to people, you know, and cultures and stuff like that. But you can't make it, and I've been working all my life. I've been working all my life since a little kid. I worked at Woolworths. Anybody know Woolworths?
Oh yeah, Flushing.
I remember.
The one in Flushing?
No.
On Main Street?
Yeah, it's the one in the Bronx.
Okay.
You know, the one in the Bronx, but I worked on one in Connecticut.
Huh?
And I get in trouble, right?
No.
But if you see how Woolworths went under, and Target and Walmart are here, how did Woolworths go under? You know, that was the biggest store out of, it was in Chicago, I believe. But, you know, the Woolworth family is a whole nother thing. And they started off with the penny store, which is the Dollar Trees now.
That's what I'm saying.
But, you know,
you
you got to start from somewhere. I mean, this country is a great country, but for Americans to be homeless, you know, that's not what we should be about. And when they making it like that, and it's
I want to counter that. Now, when we say Americans are homeless, isn't a home?
I just got out of the homeless shelter.
Isn't a home a mental infrastructure? It's like it's in your head. If you're homeless or not homeless, because in my backyard,
there's a lot of homeless in America
at
this point.
In my backyard, I know some creatures that if they step on the highway, they're getting ran over. Now, those are deers that I'm talking about, the king deer. Now, if we take the highways away, we keep building more houses, there's gonna be no deer. We're talking about homeless people, but what about the deers? The deer's been doing this forever. And you talking about this little homeless guy because he got kicked out of his building, he better come back to reality because the deer always knew what was going on.
That's true.
The deer never said it was a problem.
I understand.
He just got ate.
I understand that, bar son, but
it's deep.
Think about this, right? Your check, you make probably, if you're making 17 an hour, right?
Yeah.
Probably bring home 6. They're gonna take half of that for taxes, right? So now you live with 4 or 3. How you supposed to eat? And you got kids and family and all this other stuff. So it's like it's not averaging out. And what they're saying is these billionaires are taking from us. You know what I'm saying? To fund this country. You know, so like. And fund themselves. I don't know what the hell they doing.
In the 1970s, you could have a 2-parent family and one could actually, it didn't necessarily have to be the man that went to work. One could stay home, raise the kids, the other could go to work, and they could afford a house payment so that they own the home. That is not even a dream right now. It's just not a reality. You know, none of us think of
that. We left that fucking thing a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Now it's literally hand to mouth.
So Adam and Dave. So Dave and Adam. So in Raw, in Xavier, I think
incredible cook,
right?
Incredible cook. He made some tacos the other day. What's the hot sauce we use? Chula hot sauce.
Vinny, get the man a spatula and a frying pan. We got work for you.
I feel that people follow people because certain advertisements. Now, if you didn't want to follow or entertain that advertisement, half the world or half the country or half the population could go their own way. Now, if you falling into the light like a mosquito does, that's your fault. Because if you do have some type of will and say so in the world, like you say you do, then why are you following the rest of the mass? You can go your own way. No one told you to go that way. But instead, you followed the sheep. That's how I see it. I think we had an option and we decided to follow mainstream. And mainstream is, now we're saying we don't want to do it no more. And I'm like, okay. It's just the people that was caught and crippled into the system and they didn't know what to do after that. And now I hear a lot of people complaining. I'm like, what if you just went this way? You wouldn't complain about nothing. Moses, when he split it, it was two directions. He made you the left hemisphere or the right hemisphere of the brain. You had two options. Some people went right, some people went left. That's why I don't complain. My mom complains.
This guy complains.
Some went down the middle.
My mom complains. My dad complains. And to bring it back to how we started the conversation, I'm gonna teach you something new. Nothing ever dies on this planet. It's only revived. You see the grass. We all watched Lion King. Simba came back through the Mufasa. I don't care who trampled over him. He came out the dirt.
It was his uncle.
His uncle.
Shout out to Zion.
Shout out to Scar. and Scar always had wisdom. In order to even teach Simba to be a great king, it looks like Scar was always there. And Dimmu, it was always the other brother. It could have been evil, it could have been good. He needed Mufasa and Scar to be a king. It wasn't just, he needed him and, what's his name? It was Noah. It was him and Noah. One of the sons needed him and Noah to get full understanding of how to run an empire. You need both equilibriums, not just one.
Oh, that would have been the greatest show in the world 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God!
I'm just.
It just keeps happening. Now we're just like, God damn it!
In the world.
I think we need to morph the shows.
How did we miss that? I mean, when we were saying at that time,
it may be this chair.
Maybe it is.
It might be the chair because this is the same spot. Channeling. A lot of channeling going on here.
Teach them about the channel. Talk about the first.
You got to get right up to that microphone.
Yes, sir.
Your mic's working.
Your mic's on.
Yo.
Is it?
No,
it's not.
No, you got it. It's all right.
The Ankh. Egyptian energy. It's really a sexual tool. And when utilized correctly, both individual chakras would be connected through the root, and it would align through both root up to the top of each one's crown chakra, reverberate back into the heart chakra, and continue to keep on throughout each individual, which creates a kundalini experience between two individuals. So at that point, it's deeper than just living. We can access anything. Just understanding knowledge that's been forgotten.
Through the Kundalini experience.
Yeah.
That's why I like Thundercats. I'm not really.
I can tell by the haircut. Yes, Thundercat.
Check
haircut.
out the Kundalini.
I'm like Lionel over here. You know? So
I'm gonna keep the mic right there.
And that was on the last 2 weeks ago. It's like at one point we literally was like, is your Kundalini rising right now? Because he was like, wow, he was like going into some, yeah, you definitely.
I do know one thing.
You got to get right up to that microphone.
I do know one thing. Okay, maybe I know a lot. But one thing is one world, right? So what my thought is everybody's thought. So I know when people catch arthritis, it's only because you're eating animals. And sometimes the bones in those animals is not as big as our bones. You should just stick with cow. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna eat an animal, eat the bone that's bigger than yours, so you won't catch arthritis.
There you go.
Okay.
Wise words of wisdom from Young and Pretty Bastard on the Adam Dunn Show. Keep that. Mark that.
Yeah, metadata.
Medical advice is definitely not accepted on the Adam Dunn Show for real. But
have you guys ever watched Fist of the North Star?
Good. That's a good one.
No, but tell us about it.
Well, Raw can start first.
I'll let you.
Right.
I'm gonna let you dedicate it because they should have watched that by now.
The whole world is like, what's that new movie that came out? Naheimerheim or Anaheim?
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Say it again.
Oppenheimer.
Rob Downey Jr. said that was one of the best movies he ever acted in.
Robert Downey Jr.'s in that?
Iron Man.
He's in that one, huh? All right, cool. I know that was his kind of like brother growing up.
Yeah, so... So, now back to... What was we at before?
Fist of the North Star.
Fist of the North Star. So the whole city is destroyed. Everybody's going through struggles. It's warfare. There's little groups of people, refugees. It's bad. He's walking on a strong path. Everything is messed up. I'm talking about he's so strong. He got 8 packs, 9 packs. He got packs hitting him. And as soon as he hit somebody, tell him what happened.
It was over.
It was over.
It's over. Shout out to Method Man too.
It was before the One Punch Man. But anyways, the whole point of the movie is that when it was so polluted in the atmosphere, when you drink the water, it made your bones brittle. So when you had the mother had the baby, she didn't know why. She thought it was genetically already altered through genetics, and there's something that was gonna keep going through. And they blamed it on the genetics in the movie. But in the movie, it was all about the water they was drinking that made the bones brittle. And the babies came out with deformities. And it was like hills have eyes. Yeah. It could go
Hills
that far.
have eyes.
That's all I'm saying. But it's all movies, boys and girls.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds interesting. What's your favorite movies? Speaking of movies, what's your style?
I'm gonna go with Neo.
Yeah?
Yeah, Neo.
Okay.
What movie?
Neo. Oh, okay, Morpheus kind of...
Here we are, we're back. And we're back 2 weeks ago, and scene.
So Morpheus actually, he metamorphed Neo. So I would call it Morpheus before Neo, because he was like the father of his understanding. And in Trinity, without her, he wouldn't give birth to that power, that love. He created the whole Matrix. Yeah, you had the mother and the father, the architect, but Matrix was one of the best movies in the world.
I won't argue with that. I love Matrix.
And we're learning every day that it's real. So
It's real.
Matrix is real.
Matrix is real.
And you are sitting there in the middle of the Matrix. This is the portal, actually.
But I also told you guys, if you turn off the clocks, there won't be no Matrix.
We seen a cat the other day.
Is that from Godzilla? Hey, wait. Hold on. That's one of my favorite.
That's from the Matrix.
That's from Godzilla also, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah, he shook his head. You remember the Godzilla, 2003 Godzilla? When the guy's sitting on the...
Matthew Broderick Godzilla?
The funny dude?
We got Ferris Bueller?
Yeah, Ferris Bueller. Yeah. That, to me, I'm sorry, but I was young and I watched the old school Godzillas. But when they came to New York, shit got real. Oh, I'm out. When I was watching the old school Godzillas, it was my uncle and my grandpa. My mom used to drop us off when she needed to go to work. And I remember when we had these big wheat cereals. What was those big square...
Shredded wheat? I mean, is that just...
No, it was the... I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like a two-pack.
Yeah, it was the 2-pack.
Yeah.
The biggest cereals in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dry. You literally it touched your mouth and you ran all the liquid left your body.
Classic grandma shit. Like you get to your like, I got shredded wheat. You're like, oh my god, those gigantic.
All
things.
I know, I remember eating those and then going into the living room. We only had one living room, and it was like 8 of us. And we used to sit and watch Godzilla. And he had and Godzilla had a little either son or a brother.
Yeah, Godzuki.
Godzuki.
Yeah, he was the shit.
That was the shit.
No, for me
that
too.
That's where I come from.
Saturday afternoon, Channel 5, Channel 9, Channel 11.
I mean, I'm literally exactly 20 years older than you, but it's the same thing. Growing up in New York, watching fucking Godzillas and Mothra and Gameron and all that shit. I was like, I like Gameron. I like the turtle. That was my shit.
Yeah, the turtle was
the one. Because he was like the cool, and he wasn't really that mean.
Who's the three-headed dragon?
No, he was no. I thought he was always pretty good.
No, he was good. He would fucking.
Yeah, he was always became Godzilla's buddy at the end.
But
right?
but the butterfly was the realest one.
The moth. That's
Mothra.
That's Mothra.
Mothra has so much to do with how the jungle is going to be rebuilt.
The funny thing is that we could all do those videos now because it's like, they were so cheesily made, but
my bad.
But none of us do. It's
I think your son could make that.
It's something
movie.
you wanted as a kid. I was like, I just want to crush whole thing.
Yeah, Adam's kid's like a techno genius, so I think he could probably.
Well, we need to make Barzilla. I'm ready.
Right?
I'll run through it'd be me and the roaches. The roaches are the more ancient. Besides the beetle, the Egyptian times. Yeah. So before I came to Colorado, I did a ritual, and I didn't quite know I was going in the path of the ritual, but it was so much struggle my house was going through. Like last month, we didn't even know if we was gonna pay the bills. You know how every month you don't know how it's gonna happen. It just happens. So I was like, my mom was sitting in the kitchen, my daughter was sitting in the kitchen. I think one of my baby mamas was sitting in the kitchen. My little daughter was still up at damn 3 a.m. And then my mom's husband, he never has a job. Okay, he always has a job, but he never keeps a job.
Gotcha.
And it's hard let me just go to that real quick. It's hard to be in my father's light when you're my mom's husband. Like if my father, he's not here right now, so she's trying to find love and peace and harmony, and it's hard to fill that void.
I was gonna say
big shoes
to fill. Exactly what I was thinking too. Exactly.
So I'm like, how could you do it? Why are you here? Let's move you out now.
He's there for one reason. He's there to please your mother.
So he came back. I helped him put all his stuff in the furniture in the storage, brought him back into the house. And I was like, let me do this ritual. I made I had my daughter and my baby mama help me make this cake. It was the ugliest cake in the world. I'm talking about half of the cake was nice, the other half the cake was crumbled. It's like our world right now. The rich is good, but we fucked up. So I put candles on the cake, 6 candles for equality. And then I said, okay, let me say something. I was like, all abundance, more power to all my people, and my family gonna be good. And then I said, watch this. They said, where you going? I went to the backyard. It was raining outside. I buried the cake. And when I was digging with I didn't even dig with a shovel, I dig with a rake. It was a rake.
Like the first video you did when you buried your baby mom in the backyard?
No, I ain't buried. No. I never buried any baby mama. I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about Mr. Jones?
Yeah, Mr. Jones, yeah.
Mr. Jones was a song I created. Actually, the old school Mr. Jones. I think by John Tex. But anyways, fast forward.
It's time for the disclaimer.
Not real,
the members of Wu-Tang Clan do not speak for the Adam Dunn Show. Or
look, whatever he's talking about, he did it. No. But fast forward, I was raking and I seen a big worm. That's how I knew that worm was gonna revive everything. I was trying to speak to the gods when I did this because I needed more power. It's like I always speak. It's called offering. I offered the cake of life. And I put the cake in the ground, I put leaves over it, dirt over it. As soon as I was walking back inside, I seen a beetle on the door, right? It was a green beetle, and it was shining with color purple. And I looked it up, it meant all type of beautiful things. I called him up, I was like, yo, Xavier, da-da-da-da-da. I was so excited. Like, he knows.
Well, before you guys leave, we're gonna go. Actually, we'll find a rake. We'll rake a hole, and we're gonna plant a bagel. because I made some bagels, and we'll plant the bagel.
Let's plant the bagel. Let's put the potatoes back in the ground.
Yeah, we can do that. Spare one bagel, Mark?
Planting the seed. That's basically.
What, bury a bagel? Sure. Everybody around here is like,
oh. This is called Albanian.
What do you got?
What you got?
I think this is called Albanian. If I'm not sure, but the crystal people know it. This is like green and purple. This is the same color of the beetle. And I got this the day after I came out here. Yeah. So it came.
Play the X-Files song, Vinny.
Uh-oh. It came to me. It's all right. But
No,
yeah. I can show you the beetle. It's the same color.
You remember what kind it was? Something real technical.
I know it came back. They went all the way back to Egyptian times with it.
Well, then, if you're talking squatty potty, it was a dung beetle.
No. Dung. Say it again.
The dung beetle.
I got a picture of the beetle. But I'll show you guys later.
They were big in Egypt.
Yeah.
Big in Egypt.
Dung beetle.
They're the ones that roll the shit. Right?
Yeah.
They're the rollers.
Yeah.
Rock and rollers.
It was amazing.
So,
my mom was like, "Get that shit out the house."
Speaking of your mom, I saw a video. I saw a video from Stevo talking about how he was going to see basically he was it was a memorial for your dad, and he went completely naked on stage, and then Method Man came and just kind of gripped him by the neck and fucking. You better.
Was it Stevo?
Yeah, and you better apologize to his mother right now. And
My grandma?
Yeah, your grandma. Yeah, were you there then at that thing?
Is Stevo one of the managers?
No, Stevo's on the Jackass. He was the guy,
and
he got naked on stage.
guy.
He got naked on stage, and he was like, "Well, O.D.B. we're buddies, and he would appreciate this." And he got out on stage, and he just was shaking his dick, and it was really everyone in the audience was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And then it was like, yeah, we were not happy. They were not happy about it.
Okay.
But I was wondering if you were there because that was like a memorial for your dad.
Okay, that was big. I love Stevo. Thank you for being you. You know what I'm saying? That's me.
Yeah. So this is a picture that Mrs. Rosendogs took, and she was at one of your shows.
Oh.
Wow.
We'll show it in a second. I just texted it up there. He just sent it to me.
Shout out to Stevo because I guess he's trying to feel that energy that he felt from my pop spirit.
Yeah.
And he was more just
Exactly. Oh no, he was fully going.
So that's why Stevo was out there with his dick.
Oh no, for sure. Oh no, he was doing it with total respect. There was no he was not disrespecting your dad at all, but he was just taken the wrong way, and it was one of those things because he really had to go even years later to reconcile that one because it was definitely grinding him for a long time.
Method Man might have felt some type of way, but my grandma understood what it meant. I could know because I understand what it means.
Yeah, no, I could even see it. I could even see it when he was like, "You better apologize right now." She was like, "It's okay, it's all right. I get it. She knows what's up." You know what I mean?
He had a broke back moment. You know what I mean?
For sure. So when's your next show?
My next show, I believe we're coming to Colorado. It's September 8th.
No shit.
Wu-Tang. I think the whole family's coming back together to reunite.
That's awesome.
Well, we have a studio for you guys to come in and promote the show. And
Do I have permission to play a song?
Yeah.
It'll get flagged.
It'll get flagged.
No matter what.
What if they sing? What if you sing something?
No, if we play anything that gives more than 10 seconds, it's boom, you instantly get tagged.
YouTube, because we don't own the rights to any Wu-Tang material. So
This is
if I play
Wow,
it,
AI is amazing, ain't
yeah.
No, this is different.
it? It can make millionaires though. That's what really is dope about it. And
I mean, we were all
people gotta
stoked
really
with Shazam
understand.
when it first came out. Now it's you realize the technology's there just to kind of make money, and obviously in the long run, it's not just to figure out.
Well, I think it's there to prevent money.
Well, Shazam was at that point, but I'm saying that
Shazam
technology.
was, yeah.
That technology though, it's just you see how quickly it'll just pick up on shit,
Right.
and it's really hard to do original material nowadays.
To me, shout out to ChatGPT. Thank you. I need it. I'm dyslexic. I need it. It's the dopest format to me.
Man, you know what? Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Danny.
Oh, for sure, man. Shout out to Danny, of course. And also shout out to Brittany and Kyle from Exotics, because they're the ones that got us all linked up in the beginning. And that all came through the NFT. I guess Danny's also an NFT guy, because that's what he said.
Danny is an NFT tech head.
That's for sure.
Yeah, he's multi-talented. He could do like all type of unworldly things. Like he'd be calling up. One time, we was gonna work with Binance. We was working with Binance.
Good thing you didn't do
me and Bruce Lee. Well, me and Bruce Lee. We had a joint venture that we were doing with his family, and then the thing about it, what happened on the day of release, the day of drop, the family came and said, "Stop it."
Really?
Because it was one of the guys who said they were cool with the family. And he knew the family.
Yeah.
But she was like, that's not the right time. She's like, I don't know what you're doing, but you should have called me first.
Right.
And then I made a contract ahead of time, me and Danny. We was like, we're not liable for any type of bullshit. So we protected ourselves ahead of time. Because that's Bruce Lee. First of all, I love the Bruce Lee Foundation. I was raised up on that.
Yeah, that obviously would have been a great combination.
We had some beautiful art by this guy we met in an Uber on the FDR Drive.
You too?
Yeah. He had a marker. He was driving and drawing at the same time. He was drawing Michael Jordan. He was drawing.
Got busted for driving and drawing. I was driving and drawing. Yeah. Took me in.
Step out of the car.
Third time driving and drawing, you're definitely going down.
Yeah. But while I'm out here, for real, I'm out here to build communities, put them back together. We need realization. We need togetherness, because they want us 6 feet apart, and we know what that means.
Create jobs.
6 feet in the ground. And I think we're just creating jobs, and I think dealing with putting, like, trucks are the biggest thing to move things. And right here, Raw, he could tell you a little more about it.
Yeah, because it's
how long until that's completely knocked out with auto driving cars and bullshit?
That's gonna take a while. That's gonna take a long time, because basically truck industry is behind.
Yeah.
It's so behind. It's so Aztec.
Well, I heard something like they said if you wanted to convert the trucks, they would need the same amount of power, like the entire town's power, just to power 30 trucks, because they were such huge batteries. And it was just like ridiculous.
Right.
Like it was.
And Nikolai Tesla, he got a federal charge now because I think there's Mormons over there or whatever, in Utah, and then they started that company, Nikolai, and helium, and they was trying to do that. That's not going to work. So, the batteries in the trucks.
That's the biggest problem now.
Because
imagine one of those things catching on fire.
It takes all the fire departments in your town to put out a electronic truck.
Even a Tesla, sometimes they just let it burn because they can't even deal with it. And then imagine a truck, that would just be huge.
Right. But the good thing about and I hate to say their name but I won't. All right.
Mateo?
One of the taxi companies, let's say that, they basically created something great. And I was one of those guys. So when it came out, it was just great. I can't explain that no further. And that same technology needs to be applied to the trucking industry.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, that you're only good as your last load. So if I drive 800 miles or 1,000 miles, I should get paid just like somebody delivering your food or anything else, because at that moment in time, rendered services. Mm-hmm. So, and then you can keep the truck running, basically. So now somebody can look at their phone, because you kids are always on your phones now. They lower this
these days.
Yeah, right. Right. You're always on your phone. Everything's on your phone. It's just something that will get them into the industry better.
I do have something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the tequila's right here?
Mm-hmm.
The tequila's no more.
Tequila is almost over.
Let me put one more shot in here. For the non-drinking people that want to celebrate life, but that's not what I'm about to say. I think I just figured something out while we was sitting here.
That's the chair, I'm telling you.
I figured out, even if they block the sun, it's beyond our understanding. Because we talked about power. He said to power 30 trucks, it takes a lot of energy, right? So if you block the sun, okay, that's cool and dandy. But if you make 10 more suns, it could power up enough energy for the robots that's coming. The robots is already ahead of their time. And the humans is already ahead of their time. We create the robot, so we got to give him enough energy. We got to block out the sun to put more suns there.
Let's get back to the robots.
That sounds like a terrible plan.
It's a bad plan, but
it sounds like
I'm gonna tell you something about the robot that nobody talks about. The thing about the robot is every element is combined with the robot and the planet, and we come from the planet. They say my vein could wrap around the planet almost 3 times. You know, so I can't say the robot is so stupid because I created it. And if he's my offspring, then I gotta acknowledge it. And if he's my offspring, he's gonna acknowledge me. And he's my offspring, he's gonna put more energy around it. He's gonna make this planet 5, 10 suns. You know what I'm saying? We can't get past the Van Allen belt. Only he could.
Yeah, but if they're going to play like our children, how do we get them past the fuck you phase?
I was just about to say, there's usually a phase where they want to kill you. That's the thing.
I got the answer.
You don't want the angst.
The man with many thoughts, right? The only way to play with him, not keep him under control, you don't want to do that. You want to put him inside you. Because once he's inside you, he's still in the mountain.
That sounds like Neuralink right there.
Once he's inside you, no matter how you see it, no matter how they see it, the ground is always, everything returns to the dirt no matter what. So once Neuralink, or whatever you want to call it, is inside you, it's still inside the planet. And the planet controls more than we even understand. Everything has to stand on the ground, and the earth is still building that magnetism. So what I'm trying to say to you is that my body is going towards the robotic realm no matter what. Because that's who I'm gonna become. And if I put all the elements in me, we can't be mad about it now.
Shout out to Elements, the movie.
Yo, I done watch children eat Frosted Flakes with Fruity Pebbles and Snoop Doggy-O's.
Oh, I know.
I just saw that the other day on. Everyone's like, I like the Snoop cereal better than Fruit Loops.
I know, and you're like, God, he could have made better cereal. So he could have come up with something a little healthier.
To sum up, what I'm trying to say is that don't be afraid of evolution. We're talking about Charles Darwin. We talking about lizards. We talking about robots that can spit lasers.
Well, the robot
not
lizards.
spit
with lasers.
saliva. Like, we talking about things that we created with our mind. It's nothing wrong with putting every element together to make you a bigger prospect.
If you could end that with "Are you with me?" it would just be a home run for all of us.
I'm going to end that with "I'm with y'all."
There you go. I like that too.
There you go.
I like that a lot.
There you go. That's awesome.
That's so great. Chef, you want some of this?
You got your tip still? Don't lose your tip.
Don't lose your
so it sounds like we're going to be hanging out more because you're going to be coming back into Denver more often. And if you want to create community, that's what we're here to do. So we're definitely down to help you.
I'm down with the community building.
Yeah, that to me is what the future is for everybody. It's just everybody getting together in smaller groups and figuring shit out, because you definitely don't want to go be part of the big group, because the big group ain't figuring shit out. They're just like getting spoon-fed whatever is there. But these 150, 200 people groups, like sort of what your tribes are in your natural sort of setting. That's kind of what your brains are set up for. About 150 people, you can recognize everything beyond that. It's just bullshit. So it's like when you start looking, I have 10,000 people. It's like, do you? You have how many
as
friends?
much as you can remember.
Yeah, exactly. And you can only be in one place at one time. So it's
shout out to that.
Good to have real friends in real places and not all this bullshit and illusion. So glad to have you hanging out, and
make sure you meet O.D. Diesel on the way out.
Oh yeah, O.D.
Living legend.
I was thinking it was kind of funny because we have O.D., which might sound
O.D.
he's almost there, right?
O.D. Diesel,
O.D.
like trucks. Oh, this is.
So now we're talking. You got everybody happy down here. But yeah, thanks for coming through. I gotta have Bless Coast come through in a second with James Bean, one of our seed one of our seed distributors
You're
here.
always welcome anytime you're in Denver or any of your family.
What we're going to do,
Send
though,
them
this is
by.
what we're going to do, though. Next time, we are going to combine the shows, and we're going to make sure that Tim comes on, and you guys are going to fucking go, like, this is awesome. This is
Adam and I are just
was
gonna
already,
go
I was
have bagels.
already scared it wasn't not going to work, because I was like, wow, these guys would have clashed so much. Then all of a sudden I meet you, and I'm like, fuck, it would have been the perfect show.
Well, the thing about it, what if me and Tim can't be in the room at the same time?
There is a power struggle there, and it's the fact that he had a hard time staying in the room by himself last time. He had to go outside and scream at the top of his lungs a few times. So yeah, he's one of the.
Okay, if me and Tim is important to your eardrums, then maybe it's some truth behind it.
Who knows? I'm just saying it was an interesting way we thought we dodged a bullet. And now that we look back on it, you know what? It could have been an interesting
Could have been a
organic.
nuclear explosion of
you know.
fucking energy there.
Yeah. Maybe you might have helped him direct what he was really trying to communicate to us, but he could not find the words. He was still had one leg in the experience he started 6 days ago with massive amounts of psilocybin and DMT and was
go with
still
the DMT.
was still in a place where he had not reintegrated what he learned because what he could communicate
Unbeknownst
to
to us,
was
so
just, he knows, and no one doubted that, but he couldn't explain what he knew to us yet. So hopefully when he comes back in a week or two, he will be able to share the reintegrated story of what was going on that day and that week.
Wow. Well, I heard one thing you said. DMT. I never did any type of drug other than blood, drinking blood. But if you drink some blood, boys and girls, you're gonna love that one girl forever. Just put it that way.
Yes.
I don't want to go that far. But what I'm trying to say is, if we talking, gotta go. He's like, yo, it's time to go. But we was on Jimmy Kimmel real quick. I was like, oh, it's time to go. No, we live here, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I think he wants to know if you want a coffee. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? I didn't drink coffee since I was like 13. We was outside, me and my friends, and we had a place to go, but we was trying to make money. And the coffee was keeping us up. Until I found out the coffee was ruining our teeth at age 14. I had to kind of take it back, step back. And then I never drank coffee again. Well, now my baby mama loves coffee, so I buy coffee. So it's like a hypocritical motherfucker. Anyways, with the DMT, I seen a couple angels, and there's always this circle that pops up with a triangle in it sometimes.
Okay.
And I know you all see things. Right? Everybody, just your chance to talk about it. But there was a few babies that was supposed to be here that I kind of canceled out. And the circle popped up, and there was a few triangles in it. Like, I literally drew the circle on the wall. Well, it was already there. We don't know. But one time I woke up, and my baby mom was laying next to me, and she was supposed to get an abortion that morning. So I was like, the only thing, I'm the creator, I'm gonna kill my own child. Like, with my mind. You listening? So spiritually, metaphysically, I went to another realm. I couldn't rest that night. DMT was heightened. My pineal gland was heightened. Whatever I was doing disrupted and changed everything in there. And she woke up. She felt my energy. She was like, "Yo, what the fuck you doing?" She couldn't even make it to the bathroom. She was bleeding before she got to the bathroom.
Wow.
And it's the second time this happened. A few days ago, it happened again.
Just off.
I watched a movie called The Offering. Before the movie, I was talking to my baby mama. I got a lot of baby mamas. I only got 3 to be. I'm gonna tell you about these 3 baby mamas. They're all in sync. All of their names got to deal with Maria, Mary. It's all in that variation. All 3 baby mamas.
So you're basically following the Church of Nick Cannon.
No, Nick Cannon is different because Nick Cannon learned from my father, and Kanye too. And the thing about me, I'm kind of special. My last birthday was on Easter, and I turned 34. The biggest thing to pass is 35, because my father died on 35.
That's right.
So my mom's like, on your 35th birthday, we're gonna have a big celebration, because she wants to see me get to 37. And when I get to 37, that's 1. That means we all are connected as 1. And that's what I'm talking about, basically. is even if you give an offering by accident, it still goes back to the ground. You know what I'm saying? It still goes back to the universe, which we all can relate to.
For sure.
That's it.
Thank you so much for your coming on the show.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Appreciate you, Chef. Next time you're here, we're putting you to work.
Oh yeah, next time we're gonna put some.
Adam's a vegan, level 5 vegan. He doesn't eat anything that casts a shadow. So
That's not true.
I be in veggie, so.
Nice. I eat fish, so I'm not as rigid as he likes to make me sound.
You know, I like to use jokes for a long
They're like dead horses
time.
being
Dead
beat
horses.
for forever.
Can I just say one thing?
Of course. Yes, of course.
I recently applied for the Presidential Innovation Fellows, which will helpfully successfully bring the software application of Cowboys and Cowgirls Tech to light, and that will be a great. That would be great for America. How about that?
What's the site?
www.cowboystech.com.
See, Mark, I'm not the only person that says the W's before the website.
Yeah, shout out to the Bushes. Huh?
www.
One more time. Cowboys.
With a Z.
Cowboys
Of course,
Tech.
you gotta have Z. I mean, Jesus.
Cowboys Tech.
Every
Cowgirls
It
Tech.
doesn't have a Z. Is it even a
Cowgirls
word? Is it
Tech.
even a word anymore without a Z? In it?
No,
I don't know. Not true.
So if you're a guy and you feel a little feminine, you know, you want to go on the other side, you can. If you want to, you know, you're masculine women, you want to go on to the other side, you can. It is what it is.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
we missed
You
out
got to
2
work
weeks
though.
ago.
Damn.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Don't let him leave you behind this time, though.
Yeah,
Make sure he
don't-
takes you with him.
Shout out to Slow Ride Entertainment, and he the other reason why we got back out here. He had a vision, because he seen me performing when I was, you know, young and nothing, and then he seen a vision that he wanted to grow his limo company, and I wanted to grow Colorado, and I think that's a good shout out right there.
Yeah, and Christina.
Based out here.
Christina
Yeah.
too.
Oh, nice.
Christina. Don't forget
Oh,
Christina.
yeah,
We
shout
like
out to
limo
Noel.
guys.
Well, he created that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Christina for the auditorium. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Miranda. And Miranda's a good person. I want her to come up here and say something. She's like real.
Yeah, she's wearing a Yankees thing. We can't have by contract. We can't have her. I can't be in the same room.
So well, you figured that one out,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
we're kicking you guys out now.
And then we got we got James Bean coming through.
What do you? Oh yeah. Oh, taking the lighter.
Yeah, of course, not a problem, man. Thank you. And once
We're
again,
sans lighter.
we'll keep
Nice
in
to meet
touch,
you.
and we'll be seeing you more often.
Nice to meet you guys. Please come back anytime.
Thanks, man.
James Bean, where are you?
Hey, he's around. He's around, and also we got Titan coming through from West Coast. You got the West Coast. You got the left coast. You got the best coast. Now we have the blessed coast.
It's like the way they overuse the word humbled
I think you got everything.
in every single.
It's empty.
This is how we got from the Springs.
Oh, there you go. You gotta have your solo cup. Gotta have your solo cup.
Hakuna Matata and everything.
Hakuna Matata.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming through again. And I see James Bean. There he is. He's somewhere.
I
He's
see
hiding.
his.
He's hiding behind.
Whatever, you know. No, he's off camera somewhere getting his DMT pen.
Oh, he heard
his
DMT.
Deemers.
That's what happened. He heard the word
He went to get his
DMT
Deemers.
and he got all fucking. It's like coffee. You say the word coffee to the wrong person, and they like have to have a coffee
Did you
or
notice
cigarette.
that O.D. snuck in and didn't want me to see him, so as I talk about him, but
No,
he's here.
I was actually thinking of him too.
Look
I was
how
like,
professional he looks today. Do you have like
O.D.
you going to a funeral or something?
O.D.D. and then O.D.B. You see, we got O.D. Fuck. O.D.D. in the house. That's it.
How come we don't see any of your flower come through? You know, some like serious.
His son. Wait, I've seen it. Yeah, don't
Look at him. He's just like.
Oh yeah, he's gonna attack you, dude.
Yes, he does. And whoa, no, stop him, please. Somebody grab him.
I know Odie's out of control.
Holy shit.
Odie is out of fucking control.
Fucking A, Odie.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I guess we should have had the shows together. Like, that is what the whole conclusion of that is
Oh my gosh.
I think we just need to. We can lay them over each other, and maybe we can create a whole new show.
Patreon tonight, I
Mm-hmm.
would love to hear from, you know, the people that are like Elka, Rosin Dogs, Mike Groh, Mike Denver. I want to hear from you guys. Do you think, because I think it would have been a fucking home run.
Phenomenal.
A fucking home run.
What are we talking about?
We could have sat back.
2 weeks ago when Tim from Fungi Farms was on and he was just still, you know, he had 1 foot in the Deemer land and hadn't really integrated anything yet and was trying to find the words to explain it to us, which he will come back.
Oh, yeah.
And he will talk to us. I think
we could have overlapped.
With YDB here, it could have been
It would have been great. We could have sat back. We could have sat and done more dabs than ever. It would have been like one of those shows where it's like, I guess we're just doing dabs now and let them talk. Cause
my mind is still fucking blown.
Welcome also, got Titan down there on the bottom.
What up? What up?
Thanks for
Happy
coming
to be
through.
here.
Yes, sir. I saw you pop in earlier. I was like, oh shit! I think it was 6:15 your time. Where are you on the East Coast or West? No, you're on the West Coast, aren't you? Or
Dude, I'm on the Blessed Coast, man. Y'all are hating on the name, dude.
oh, you're on the Blessed Coast.
Coast,
Sorry, the Blessed Coast. Yes, I know.
Yeah, yes, dude. Yeah, but I'm West Coast, so yeah. I was trying to figure it out too. I was like, fuck, it's already starting. All right.
Yeah. No, we were. I wasn't sure where we were coming from, but I think I put Mountain Time on there. But glad to have you, and I'm glad fucking James put that together, like he always does. James always, he knows what's up.
Were you both in Colorado? And you can turn your phone sideways. We can see more of you.
Oh my God!
James.
Fucking.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Because everybody's always like, dude, you're fucking this way. And I'm like,
you should have read.
Oh, he fixed it already. You don't have to.
No, don't do it. Dave's gonna ruin everything.
Is Dave gonna freak out now?
No, that's fine.
Flip his like.
I was gonna say, were you in Colorado a few weeks ago at the Dude Grows Cup with James?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we had just missed each other
was with
at
them.
Dominion Seeds.
Damn. Yep, I was with Duke. Yep.
But I'm just gonna throw it out there. You got a yo tips from Duke, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
I did.
we're gonna send you some more. So it's just.
Yo,
he failed. He got it, but he failed to use it.
Correct. And what happened?
Dude,
hold on a sec. Let's set the setting here. So Adam and I used a yo tip sitting with somebody in between us who had the plague. Okay, and we didn't get it.
So we know it works.
And you were given these at the wookiest event you could be at in Colorado.
Fuck, dude.
Okay, it was so many.
He didn't use them.
So many. No, and what happened afterwards?
Oh, he got sick.
Yeah, so, I went, like, before I was, going out there, I told myself, like, man, I'm not going to be a dumbass, and I'm not going to hit joints and pack it. Of course, the first thing I did when I got there is got past a joint of something Dominion, so I'm, like, hitting them, like, I'm already fucked. So I didn't use them, and of course, bro, I got the Fort Collins cough, man, the straight wook flu.
Wow.
Like, it lasted, like, 4 weeks, dude. Oh. I was like, fucked, man. Yeah, like the deep wook flu. Yeah,
that's like, and you were at the epicenter. You were basically in Fort Collins, getting the cough. You know what I mean? So it's like you couldn't have been in a much more epicenter of.
And it was
rainy.
Humid.
Yeah, we don't have humidity normally here too, so that must have just. I can already see it going through the air. Like, ooh, this is great. Normally it's so dry. Yeah. We die. Normally we're dead before we get anywhere.
You have a garden, so you never fucking leave. So when you do leave, your immune system's like, yo, what is all this wild ass shit out here? You know what I mean? Yeah,
for sure. Man. Well, now you know better, right? What does it mean? You gonna ever smoke a joint without a yo tip again?
Out in the wild,
Unless I'm doing like one of these joints, like something like this.
No, wait, we got one that'll fit that right now. It's a yo tip, a Magnum,
I don't know. Talking more.
Oh, got it. But even that. But then it touches. Then they were licking the end of it, and it's between your fingers.
And you licked in between your fingers all the time. That's like a go-to thing, right?
Oh, well, wait a minute. I just got a text from Duke. He wanted me to tell you that it was actually James Bean that got you sick. He was the carrier of your plague.
He was patient zero.
I've not been sick yet. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but no, Duke wanted me to make sure to bring up with you to discuss agronomical values.
Son of a bitch, dude. All right. Yeah, if you want to get deep on it, I don't know how much time y'all got left. I mean, I can do it if you want.
No.
I learned all about it. I learned all about it at college.
So James, you just this is like you just brought him on, right? Like this is like newest breeder on the block, pretty much.
Newest breeder on the block, but not in that sense.
I know. I'm not saying like he's the newest. I'm saying he's the newest on your block.
Yes,
that's
the
awesome.
latest addition to the Seats Are Now roster, of course. But it's been long overdue. I've known about him for probably 2 or 3 years at least. He's been on my radar. He's he's part of that Lemon Hoko kind of northwest 47 crew. Shout out to those guys.
Shout out.
That's where I was first introduced to him and became a fan. And I'm currently smoking on his cheese, which I think is fucking amazing. He's got great cheese. I mean, cheese is I think gets left out a lot of the conversation right now. I don't see a lot of cheese at all. But yet, like when I got that jar of cheese from him, it was like, I don't know, cheese is instant. To me, you know it. Like,
exactly.
It's not like
it's its own lane. It's its own lane, pretty much. You're like, okay, you're like, okay, there you go. That's cheese, all right. I got that Mendo cheese cut, and it's like cheese on the front end, but it's got a little more funk in there. You know, like almost too much funk to be a true cheese type, because you're like, oh, okay, that's it. But then as you dry it out, it kind of gets more Afghan bottom end or something.
And then the very first breeder I worked with for 3 years, his big thing was that he believed that there was something about the cheeses, and he had stomach issues, Crohn's.
It's very medical. It's definitely medically. I've heard a lot of people like it's their go-to, and it seems like it's got some profile that's.
You're right. Wasn't
physical,
it like
kind of physical? You know,
5-6 years ago when it was really around on the shelves everywhere, people were always asking for it for that exact reason.
I'm not surprised that something with a unique terpene profile like that shouldn't surprise you that it has a unique potency to it too. You know, that entourage effect of all these different chemicals working together. Every time I find something that's just super unique and kind of out there,
I think Bubba has that similar.
Has a unique high.
I think Bubba has that similar thing too, where it's like kind of the magical plant for certain people, where they're just like, dude, I don't know about that. Just fucking hits those. No, not for everybody, of course, too, because not everybody's technically going to pick up on it, right? But it does seem to be, every so often you'll see because I hate when people ask, is it medical? And you're like, well, it's all medical. It just depends on like
fucking difference.
There's not like non-medical cannabis. You know what I mean?
No,
it's
this
like
is rec weed. This won't get you high.
Yeah, this will not help you in any way, shape, or form. Just fucking get you lit.
Yeah.
No, it's but I do think it's kind of like one of those. People have to look at it all for having a medical sort of side, but just some of them obviously hit better, and those are usually things that aren't just THC. They're like a lot of other. They're usually low THC with a whole bunch of other shit, right? Like 15% THC and a bunch of other cannabinoids, and then all of a sudden it's like magic, right? Where there's 1-to-1s. You're trying to do IBLs on the cheese and IBLs on the. Some other strains that are like kind of classic sour D.
IBL?
Sours, yeah.
Inbred line.
And not trying to actually have been done.
Yeah, I've been working on some of this stuff for like over 5 or 6 years now. But I mean, the idea, right, is when you inbreed something, you kind of go through the gene pool and all the different phenotypes that you see and select the ones that have a combination of these quality traits, and then you try to fix that into a consistency in the next set of progeny. And by doing that, increasing the homozygosity of that line, and then using that to pair with another line that you've also inbred, that's how you create those true F1 hybrids. You get that hybrid vigor heterosis from those, and that's a lot of the work that hasn't really been done in cannabis. Cannabis is an extremely heterozygous plant. It's an obligate outcrosser, so even when you self something a few times, you still see variation like you would in like in an F2.
Yeah.
So I've gone about it a kind of different way.
So just right there, if on an S1s, there's going to be variation in an S1. It's not going to all be the same plant.
No.
Well, it depends on what you're selfing, right? If you're selfing a very heterozygous plant, well, if you're selfing a plant that's like, say it's a polyhybrid, whatever, it's very heterozygous, meaning that it doesn't have 2 copies of the same gene at all these different loci, right? There's variation in it. If you self that plant, you're going to see variation in the S1s. But if you start with a very purebred, inbred plant and you self that, you might not see as much variation in those S1s.
And those are the ones that people. Those are the situations where it's like a magic seed pops up, like, and you get 1 seed or per pound or something, and all of a sudden you're like, this is exact copy. Like those things will be amazing. They'll be like so on point, exact copy almost. But once you start to try to produce that, it's very hard to fucking hit that nail on the head.
Well, I look at it as a finishing thing, right? So, you see a lot of people grabbing these clone onlys and then they just try to self them and offer that seed out to the market. And it's like, well, you're going to see variation in a lot of those, like I said, depending on what they start with. But for me, I'm like, if I work through a gene pool, say sour diesel, and I use filial breeding to either quarter or half siblings by selecting the best traits, fixing a really good, consistent quality version of that line in a regular set of progeny, and then I find the really key example and I self that, I'm going to have a very consistent set of seeds to offer to people and say, this is not only is this the best example that I've put together trait by trait, but the seeds that you grow out are going to be consistent for that specific phenotype. And I think like, you know, that's something that's hard to do. It takes a lot of time and effort. You really got to have a good knowledge of that gene pool. You got to grow a lot of them and you have to be very observant, you know. And once you kind of do all that work, you kind of end up at this spot where you're like, wow, this is not only has the same characteristics of sour diesel, for instance, but it's just so much better. It's less leafy, smells more, it tastes more, it's easier to nail. It's not like other old sour D clones where you grow it out and you fuck up the cure and it smells like hay. You know, you don't have to worry about all these things. It's a production plant, but also it hits that niche area for the home grower where they're like, damn, I've been missing this type of weed, you know? That's why I made it, because I love that herb and it's like hard to find that shit, you know? Right. Everyone says they have it, but it's always a little bit off. It ain't right. You know what I mean? So
then how do you go about selecting your pairings then?
Well, I mean, it comes down to obviously, you know, stability is a huge issue, right? You got to put them through the ringer, test the stability of them. Then you got to grow them out. And if you've grown out a lot of the females, you can kind of look at the males and make, you know, slight assumptions that, hey, there might be linkage between these traits because whenever I see this, I also see that. I'm seeing this in the male. Yeah. Right. And so, you know, you kind of go about it that way. But, you know, again, the more you've worked a gene pool.
You ever reverse your males?
You can reverse them with Ethifon to check the terpenes or whatever. I haven't really dived into that much myself.
I haven't either.
I know
it seems like it would be fun just to get an idea, right? I mean, see what trike production and a little bit of the terp profile and a little bit, because that is the one thing about breeding with unknowns. All those unknown situations with males, it's like you can see the structure and you can get the stem rub and you can kind of go flowering time and you can kind of nail a lot of the stuff, but you really can't. I mean, it is. I mean, I love letting them flower way beyond normal times, and then sometimes you're like impressed where you're like, fuck, that actually looks like a pretty damn good looking structure, you know what I mean? But a lot of times you never get there because they just fucking
that's the job of the plant breeder to make that easier on you. If I'm selecting from a line that's not very consistent, the females, then obviously the males aren't going to be very consistent for the traits they pass either.
Right.
So my job is to create lines that are very consistent by doing either quarter sib, half sib, full sib, whatever type of inbreeding I choose to do. And then if I have a really good consistent set of females and it's like, okay, let's use a male from this, and I can pretty much have a good idea of what type of traits he's going to pass. Now, it always comes down to the combining ability of the two parents. Mm-hmm. You can have an exceptional plant and cross it to a receiver and not get any of the progeny characteristics that you're looking for because there's not good combining ability between those two plants. That's the whole reason of making true F1 hybrids, because you have this amazing combining ability and you get that crazy heterosis, and they're all super consistent because you're kind of relying on that dominant recessive relationship of how genetics work to only show the dominant traits in that original true F1 hybrid. What people make nowadays just by making seeds are not real F1s.
Right. I mean, it's hard because there's so many kissing cousins and combinations that are like, well, okay, there's three of the same things in here, so obviously that's not going to work. That's not just zero hybrid vigor coming out of that. You know what I mean? Or maybe not zero, but there's definitely less. Whereas when the first times when you take things that are completely different gene pools and put them together, you get magic, but maybe inconsistent magic, and then it's
they're F1s, but they're not hybrids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not real true hybrids,
right? Because you have to produce those. You have to be on so polar opposites to make it work, and there's so few and far between now. That's also, I think, the problem. That's the reason why there's so many, fly-by-night quick seed companies and stuff, because people can now make much nicer, consistent looking weed that doesn't necessarily hit any other good things except for that part where they all look pretty good because there's a lot of pretty plants going together, but not necessarily combinable and or very strong. And there's like a lot of
BC Bud 1991, 92.
Well, I got a good example. I got Oreos here, which I brought more as a
Oh my God.
more as an example of
That's what
to
I'm
show.
rolling right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's the vein of my existence.
Well, just because
I wanted to try the
I got the
cardboard
I feel lonely.
I got the clone from somebody, and I was just like, I want to grow it just because I know it's not going to taste like anything. Just want to use it maybe in some cross, see what happens, because it looks. I mean, it's beautiful looking plant, right?
Yeah,
but
it just doesn't hit all three of the things.
It does not have any terp. And it's funny. I gave it a bud to a friend of mine, and he's like, calls me up about an hour later. He's like, dude, you nailed it. Cardboard straight off the bat. I was like, yeah, there you go. That's all I was expecting.
It's the new age white. It's the new age chromed white cut, right? Because people are using it thinking that, it has no terpenes, but it has frost.
Yeah.
But if I cross it to something, I'll get that resin, but I won't have to worry about it over dominating in the terpene department. But it's like, that's not necessarily how genetics work, you know? It's like, if you use it, there's going to be genes associated with that lack of smell.
Yeah.
So
it would be interesting. It'd be interesting to see if you get anything out of it. I just put it into for fun more than anything. But it was classic because when you're trimming it, you're like, God damn it! I wish this shit was good because it fucking looks beautiful and it trims easy and it's tight and dense. I was like, wow, this is like the easiest weed in the world, except for the fact it doesn't have any.
When I used to work for Subby when I was younger, he had this cross called Pandora's Box. He had a cross named Pandora's Box, man, and it was one of the most resinous plants I ever seen in my life. You know, the resin tacos, resin rails just going crazy. And I had it tested, and I got the COA back, and it came back at like 14%. And I kind of learned at that moment, like, yo, the craziest resinous plants are not always the most potent plants. You know, that physical look of potency doesn't correlate into actual
it's your arm.
potency,
Your arm will be alive. Live.
Odie just got here because he said, I heard him say, I really want to smoke some cardboard terps.
He smelled the terps. He was all, cardboard.
So let's talk about this thing. This since you mentioned Subby. So you had a brief thing with Subby.
Subby's getting
obviously O.D.B is sitting there, who is Homegrown Natural Wonders.
Yeah.
Who had
I'm
quite an extensive. Yeah. So Odie, you know Peyton?
Yeah, I met him at the Dude Gross.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So you were breeding with him, or what? You had some run-ins to do with Subby back in the day?
No, I wasn't breeding with him. When I was 18, I got injured in a motorcycle accident, and I started actually growing like real medical weeds, like back 2009, 2010. I had met Subby on Breed Bay, and got some seeds from him, you know, grew them out, and I brought him some herb at the Hemp Fest we have down here in Seattle. And he was just like fucking blown away from it. He's like, dude, this is some of the best herb I've seen all year. He ended up writing this little magazine article about me and giving me a job selling seeds. So I kind of just grew out a lot of his clones, a lot of, you know, what he was doing. And he took me to shows, and I kind of seen like what he was doing. Because back in the day, that was like, the seed thing was kind of new. You know what I mean? And he was like one of the first guys to kind of like really run with it and put, you know, huge boosts up and go hard with it. So I kind of watched him do that and like help him sell seeds on the West Coast. And, you know, I just learned from him for a while, you know what I mean? And then we kind of went our separate ways after a minute. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
As did everyone with, rest in peace. That's over Subby. He definitely made his mark, and you know,
that was it.
Here, Mark, we got a fire joint
of Oreos for you, bro.
Look at those YouTube videos.
Fire.
I mean, everybody learned from him.
Pure flavor.
Watch those fucking videos.
Flavor Train. Get on the Flavor Train.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm trying to get the Flavor Train Oreos over to him. I know, but I was trying.
There's a fuck about your Oreos.
Come on, I'm trying to get rid of it, dude. I was trying to get rid of it. Didn't you see what I was trying to? There you go. Have fun with that. It's all yours. Keep it.
All you.
Yeah. All right.
Dude,
sorry, James.
Do we need to send them some real fucking weeds?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Don't.
Yes.
We have
we should
real.
do that.
We've got real.
We can never do.
Thought he
Are
could
you
grow
sure?
flavor
I see y'all holding up
into.
for you.
I wanted to prove I could put flavor in the Oreos, and I failed miserably. It did not work.
It's not.
This is the that's that lemon. That's that sticky lemons from Covert. Ooh.
Covert does some really nice work.
So let's talk about the Titans Katana right behind you.
Oh yeah, my girl. That's my girl, man.
Girl.
Yep.
Yep. So how long has that been in the making? What's the makeup of that? Maybe you can tell the people about what you like about it, what it does for you.
Oh man, so yeah, that's like pretty much a really heavily worked inbred line of sour diesel. I basically got a sour diesel clone off Breed Bay 2010-ish. It was a Res IBL sour D clone. And back then there was like, excuse me, like no fucking way you were finding sour diesel in seed form other than Karma had taken some res work and made that headbanger. So outcrossed a headbanger male, hit that sour D clone, crossed that again to another one. Shout out Karma G, man, the fucking OG, to a headbanger. It's Sour Power OG. F2'd that. I F2'd that, and then I hit that back to an East Coast Sour D clone, and that is what made Titan's Katana. So it took me about 5 or 6 years, about four or five pollinations or something in there. So yeah, man, it took a long ass time, but it was totally worth it because now all of the plants are basically sour diesel, and you don't have to wait till like week 8 to smell it either. It's like week 3, you're like, holy shit, these are fucking bangers, man.
And it looks pretty chunky
really,
too. Like it looks good. Like there's some weight on it.
Yeah, they throw down. I got some in 1 gallon pots right now. I'll probably pull 4 or 5 zips off some of them, man. They're fuck. And the nice thing about it, dude, is it's not all dog tongued out. So it's like not a bitch to trim. Everything's easy. It grows fast. It has like a 4 or 5 times flip and flower. So you basically don't veg it. Maybe give it like a 2-week veg from clone. It'll run about 10 weeks, but because you don't veg those first extra 2 weeks, like that 4-week veg, it ends up being about the same amount of time to pull a cycle off with it.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's like hazes. People get all crazy about 12 weeks, 13, 14. You're like, you don't even veg it, dude. You can put it in, it's tiny, and it will just keep going. And you're like, holy shit, this thing's huge. If you try to veg it, you're fucked. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. So
when I grew back in '91, my friend used to give me shit because all I did was when he gave me clones, I would just put them straight into flower, and they would grow. You know, I'd have a cola this big. That was perfect.
That's
I
what
had
we
no
did
problem.
here in the basements in the '90s. Was once they had roots in the clone, they went right to the flood trays.
that is your classic. Like, I mean, in Holland it was the same. They flipped them. They'd veg for 2-3 days. You know, that was about it until they see the roots popping through the block, and then they'd flip it. You know what I mean? And then it was like you're just feeding them from day one anyway, and then you'd end up with like a couple ounces on a plant, 2, 3, 4 ounces maybe, and then but you'd have 1,000 of them. So it'd be like, all right, well that's cool. Now we got 4,000 ounces. You know,
I don't like runty shitty plants. You know what I mean? Like Urkel's cool. I like smoking it. No one wants to fucking grow that, bro. You know what I mean? That thing's runty and slow, and it's like, dude.
It's like Skittles, the ugliest fucking thing out there.
Well, Skittles, like cookies. There's a lot of plants that you don't want to grow as a grower. You know what I mean?
What was that cereal where the commercial was? He won't eat anything. And
Mikey Life.
Look at Mark is smoking that joint like it's the last
he
joint
loves
on the
it.
planet.
He likes it. He likes
smoking
it
it down to the nub.
Oh yeah,
Mark likes mids. We already know
he's
this.
hitting on it really hard too. His veins are popping out on his head while he hits it.
Big Mitzi Mark.
Midzy Mark.
Midzy Mark and the Oreo bunch.
Mitzi Mark and the Funky Bunch.
And the Oreo funky bunch. Yes.
You guys ever heard that myth that like the runty shitty plants are always the best ones?
That's true too, and that's also true. I mean, unfortunately,
it's a myth though. It's a fucking myth, man. It's just poor breeding. You stack quality traits, right? You can create vigorous plants that still it's like
I'd say it's more of
up to the breeder, man, to make that happen. If you start picking runty shitty plants for some terpene profile,
I'd say it's more
like,
of
bro,
a
what are you?
Yeah, I'd say it's more of a Murphy's Law though, of like when you get like it's not so much like as a breeding thing because obviously you can breed it out.
I think they're picking Skittles.
But it's more like you get someone gives you something, you got a 10-pack. Out of everything, it's the fucking runtiest one that you like yourself, terpy wise. Like that's what it ends up being. It may not be you want to breed that in because you might be like, well, fuck, I can't breed it in because it's the shittiest plant in the world. But I had it with like, so for instance, with sage, we had like, I think maybe 30 seeds to start with, 35. And out of everything, because we grew them outdoors first, and then we're in Holland, is very shitty conditions. So it's kind of like we were battling everything the whole way. So out of everything, it was the smallest, runtiest one that was in the corner, and that was the one that ended up being the one because it was like everything else, even though it was in better places, it didn't pull those particular terps, and that's what we were focusing on was that profile. So there's time.
You don't think that if you ran out 1,000 seeds, you wouldn't find that same terpene profile in a better plant?
100%. But we just only had 30, so we were literally starting with 30. So we had to make 1,000, then run through those, but we're in, it was more set and setting, I think, and it's
and that goes back to true breeding. Like I think we're talking today. We have a lot of people who are just taking clones, and not even clones, but they're just like the happy accidents. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, if you meant to do it, you have a male to back it up. Mm-hmm. You could make more. If you meant to do it, if you did, and that's not to say it's bad. 5 out of the top 10 are going to be fucking happy accidents, right? OG Kush, happy accident. Sour, happy accident. And so it's great, but for true breeding, yeah. I mean, so I don't think there's I don't think we selected Skittles. Like wouldn't select that thing.
Not for the growth, that's for sure. You know what I mean? Not for the growth.
I think the science behind it shows that the plant can only uptake so much nutrients and utilize so much light, can only create so much sugar. It has to decide where it wants to put that sugar, either into primary growth or secondary growth, like creating your secondary metabolites, your terpenes, your cannabinoids, this and that. Right. So people assume that like those smaller plants that don't really produce a lot of like actual biomass, so to say, are basically putting more of those, assimilates into producing secondary metabolites like resin, all these different, and it's not that, it's that the plant's not very good at actually uptaking nutrients out of the soil. It either has a poor root system or it's just not a very vigorous plant. It's not good at assimilating nutrients. So that's what I mean about you can find a plant that's good at utilizing nutrients and mining nutrients out of the soil that also has those, terpenes or whatever trait it is that made you select the shitty one, So it's.
But you like the big girls though, like in the trays. The big girls.
I like plants that don't suck ass to grow. You know what I mean, that's really what it is. Yeah.
That's where the agronomical value is.
Dude, 100%. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, dude. I don't care how good the weed is, man. If you only get an ounce off a huge ass plant, like, bro, I don't know, man. That's not for me.
Time to do their shit. Their shit with my time.
Yeah, I can get danker weed off an easier plant,
Yeah. Well, there's growers' plants and then there's smokers' plants, I guess, in the end of the day, because some people don't know the turmoil behind. It's like a lot of times it comes down to the trim. You know what I mean? Like the plant might grow really easy, but it might be a bitch to trim because it's like
just have a party.
It's got so much biomass going on, or because that to me sometimes is the make or break for anything. Is like it's easy to trim and okay, that's it. Right? But that makes me so much happier because at the end of the day, I know it's going to bottleneck all my work because it's like I'm going to look at it like fuck. Who's gonna do that one? You know what I mean? And because I
think it's definitely one of the things that you pheno hunt for. Like when you're looking through shit, like it's got to be one of the boxes you check. Like is it easy to trim?
It is, and
you got to pay attention to that morphology of the flower, man. It's like if you don't, you're just kind of. I mean, eventually you're gonna set yourself up with something that it's like you're not gonna want to keep growing it. No one's growing Sensi Star anymore because it's like. Fuck that! I ain't trimming it. You know what I mean? Like it's.
I was just saying I crossed that. Trim, man. Goddamn.
They all grow the hybrids because the hybrids are a little bit better,
Mm-hmm. And has James listed you as breeder of the month yet on Seeds Here Now?
He is now, obviously.
Yeah, he's not breeder of the month, but he's up there. He's up there.
I'm gonna keep making good ass seeds, man, and see where it takes me. I think I've been doing this for like 13 years now. I've watched so many, breeders before me do this. I've had the opportunity to learn from a lot of really good ones and grow a lot of fucking clones out and see where like the bar is. And that's why I never just released seeds along the way and I waited this whole time. I went back to college to learn how this shit really works. How the genetic side of things really fucking works. And now I'm dabbling in tissue culture and trying to work on the engineering side of it, and really figure all this shit out. But like, if I hadn't grown the clones and been exposed to all those special plants, I probably wouldn't be so obsessed with it the way that I am, because I love those plants and I love the flower that they produce, but there's so many ways that they could be better. And it's not just by crossing this to that and getting lucky and finding one. It's like, let's go trait by trait and improve these fucking things to where they're actually viable for the future. I want a really nice piece.
And those steps, and those steps along the way, you don't feel you don't want to release them, or you don't.
I do release them. Like, some people aren't totally into like wanting a straight F1 hybrid. Maybe they want something that's one of the parental lines that's really pure breeding for something that they want. And that's kind of what Katana is, you know? I would use Katana to breed to something like Lemon's Blueberry BX4. You know, I've made blueberry splitters before out of Samurai in that clone, and they're phenomenal. But I bet you if I take an even more inbred, you know, line like Katana and cross that to a BBBX4, that I might even get something better. So, you know, it's just it takes a lot of time, man, to do these, to really do the work and release an actual seed line that you didn't just fuck around and come up with fly by night. Takes years, man. It takes years. You know?
I mean, that has always been the. I remember when I first got to Holland and I went into Sensi and I was like, man, these things are expensive. You know what I mean? I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. Fast forward like 6 months later, I'm working at the shop and I'm explaining to customers why they're so expensive, because just the breeding stock alone, having it, and also Sensi was doing real numbers and they were putting down thousands of plants and then taking basically, you know, riding that razor's edge of legality in Holland, because in Holland if you grew for seed, it was legal. So they would they'd have like one greenhouse producing tons of seed and they'd have that one positive pressured so that it wouldn't get infected by anything else, and then they would just blast out the other rooms, and it was just one of those classics where, you know, once Holland caught up to all that, everything went to Spain and it all changed, of course, but in general, yeah, the infrastructure of doing stuff, it takes years. People don't realize how long projects are. They're like, a lot of times it's started and then it gets put on ice for fucking 5 years, you know what I mean? And then you go and you finally get through there, and then you're another couple years down. And so people don't realize that's like, you know, 7, 10, there's even longer, you know, even longer projects that never even get completed because you're caught off guard, right? So
I think that's one of the things as of being a breeder is you kind of, you know, you want everything to be perfect, you know? You put so much time into it, and it's tough to, like, you know, ever really think that something is perfect, you know, with any of these lines, you know? It's so heterozygous. It's like there's always going to be some variation. Now, whether or not the variation is between similar enough traits that it's like everybody's happy with it because they got what they thought they were getting, yeah, it's acceptable. And that's kind of a tough line, I think, to draw when you're really trying to create unique and special stuff and not just be putting more seeds out there that are going to be, you know, it's not different. It's not unique. No one's going to care about that in 10 years, you know?
Or 6 months, so. Or 6 months from now. It's literally like fashion nowadays. Like boom, 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 boom. You know, it's like.
Is it 6 months now? Because a couple of years ago, everybody I spoke to that ran, you know, in the shelves on dispensaries was like, you got maybe 9 months, right? It's 9 months for that flavor, and then the industry moves on. You know, the consumer base has to have something different.
I always hated that though too, because I'd have people come sometimes and they tell me how many different things they've grown over the, like, you see listing, and I was like, and nothing, you kept nothing of those? Like, nope, nothing, you know, and I'm like, wow, you guys are like some picky motherfuckers these days, you know what I mean? So,
but what I'm realizing about my spectrum issues is I like to say, once I find what I like, I just want that one. I don't want it to change, and it's been frustrating on the shelves because shit doesn't stick around.
No.
Dude, and there's people, there's still like bigger grow ops that I have customers of that. One blew me away the other day because he spends a fair amount of money on beans, and he wanted to talk about clones. And I was like, what do you mean? You should have don't you have cuts from the fucking thousands and thousands of dollars of seeds I've sent you? She was like, oh no, we never cut clones. We just run them out.
That's so weird.
And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, because I mean, we're talking in excess of 10K here, and I'm like,
right.
You fucking have just ran these out, and you haven't kept anything. Like, you don't have, what the fuck?
I have the opposite problem where I try to keep backups of everything before I figure out.
Yes.
I feel like I've kicked myself too many times where I'm like, really, did we throw that? Like, so I've got backups of everything, and then I have to go back and. It's the hardest thing to, you know, sometimes just keeping those alive while you're watching the other ones to make sure, and then you're like, all right, make the decision. Now I just toss those or whatever. So
we've talked about this. What would a stoner do with a time machine? they wouldn't go try to rewrite, global history. They would go to the trash of one breeder who was like, man, I threw that male out, or I didn't take that cut. Or,
they go to Kim's house on the day he fucking threw this.
Right.
I threw that male away.
A good example is cheese. Like you guys, we all know what it is because we've experienced it, and there's nothing else. Like you couldn't give me a different cut and be like, that's cheese. I wouldn't fall for it for a second because I know what cheese smells like and looks like. I've grown it for 10 years. I got that cutting from Subby. He got it from Pistols, and it's like, dude, if you don't know, you don't know. But it's like those are the plants that we're trying to recreate as breeders as far as the uniqueness and specialness of it. You guys all know what it is because it's that special and unique.
There is a classic. If you want to talk about trimming plants, there's a fucking nightmare of a plant. Sometimes those bottom branches, if you don't trim, they grow like reverse. They have this really weird growth pattern where they'll like, instead of growing normally like that, they kind of grow out, and then another one comes off the bottom and go out, and another one comes off the bottom of that one, and you're like, fuck
the cheeses?
Cheesy. Oh,
yeah,
just
it's branchy. Yeah, it's very branchy.
It's got a weird branch too. It's like
motherfucker.
It's like a straight, almost like a hologram. It looks like when you look at it from a distance, and a lot of them, it starts to become like this weird pattern coming out of them. They're interesting.
In that old marijuana botany book, and they had like the phenotypes in there, and they list that one as like a creeper phenotype.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cheese reminds me of like a creeper phenotype of like skunk one or something weird like that.
I thought creeper meant like it crept up on you.
No,
that's a different terminology. Yeah, this is more like the.
This is a South Indian. I think it was a South Indian strain that kind of grows sideways, and then you get a lot of those too.
Some weird shit.
Actually, those are like the ones that are great if you have like low plant count and you want to just fill up a room, you know what I mean? Because they'll just kind of crawl along, and you can kind of scrog the shit out of them. But they also turn into a
shout out to Indian Landrace. We just reloaded his stuff.
Indian Landrace shit is awesome. I love following his stuff just because he's got the best. He's got some of the photos where you just are like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like fields of Afghans that are all just, every single one of them is different. You're like, oh my God, this is so crazy. There must be so much locked up in there,
I know, that'd almost be like fucking Mecca, right? If you could just go over and be like, I'm going to hang out with you for a month. Just take me with you for a month. I just want to go. And, I mean, that would be awesome because you would see so much and so much cool shit. In fact, I might just fucking do that.
You should. No, that would be epic.
that would be awesome.
Especially at the right time of year when everybody's making hash and stuff. Except for also everybody's always tense at those times too, because it's like now you're like, oh, what's going on? And it's like, fuck, all the money.
It'd be worth it though. It'd be worth it
if you had that shit out with the right people, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I look at his pictures and I'm like, fuck, that would be insane.
Right.
As I would be taking so much material from that, and man, looking through all of it, yeah, that's awesome. A lot of that shit seems like it's pretty inbred, even like it looked like there's a lot of variation. Well, probably pretty fucking inbred.
And I think also part of the what I've noticed is like in places that have indigenous sort of cannabis, people always trip out like, you bring like a seed there, you're gonna fuck the whole gene pool up, and I think it's naive to think you could actually change the gene pool there, because the reality is that those plants will push that out so fast. Like my friends in South Africa, they got seeds from Amsterdam and from America all the time. They grow them out, right? And then they cross those together, and then the next generation looks just like local weed all of a sudden. Like it loses almost all of its traits because the local suppression from the other pollen that's there is so heavy that it's just sort of like eats up whatever genetics you brought, and within 2 or 3 generations you don't even see it anymore. It's just like, oh, it looks like Durban. It looks like the same weed that's been growing here for fucking forever, because they have an indigenous they actually have fields of weed.
It's not going to have good fitness in Afghanistan. You know what I mean?
I don't see it. No,
you bring a plant that was runty, shitty indoor plant, try to breed it out there, bro. Yeah, those genes are not going to be the ones passed, because they're just going to die. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
makes sense. For
sure. But no, it was interesting to see.
I was going to bring a whole bunch of cookie packs too. Damn it.
Because I sent them genetics too, and they basically, because I was like saying, well, they wanted more, and it was sort of the same situation where I was like, you guys got enough seed. I figured you would have been able to do something, and they were like, no, man, it's just like we put it out, and then there's not even a possibility of properly breeding there, just because there's so much wild cannabis grown all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just fucking, who's your daddy?
It's a who's your daddy situation, exactly.
Just make triploids, dude, then they won't be able to get pollinated, you know? Screw it.
See, Breeder Steve is on it, man. Breeder Steve is on it. I think
the triploid thing is definitely smart, especially for those kind of places. And that's
spray everything with colchicine, and then.
So when he talks about making his triploid, he said how basically he just kept going to shit that was the hardest to pollinate. Right. He would just keep using the one that was just the hardest, the one that wouldn't take the hardest, the most, and then he just kept using that one. And I was like, damn, I love that guy.
Those flow cytometers that you need to run that material and measure and see if it's actually like a polyploid they're fucking expensive, dude.
You never bought the Breeder Steve, you don't know who it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Breeder Steve.
Bane.
We got a buddy that does his voice perfectly, dude. It's wild, yeah.
So deep.
Shout out High Desert.
Shout out Breeder Steve.
So Rosendogs wants to make... James, Rosendogs wants to make sure the Dunn deal code works on Seeds Here Now right now because he wants to go buy your genetics.
Oh, and I already got Howie also wants to see you're already getting sales just by being on here. People are like, what? I want that. Once they heard IBL anything.
Would you double Dunn deal it for the next 20 minutes?
No, don't make them double Dunn deal.
I bet it's out of stock.
I bet everybody's double Dunn dealed already because that's what happens when.
Yeah, I just bet it's out of stock. I don't know if it was if it flew. We might have more. That's up to him. But yeah, no, it's I tried to tell y'all it's limited.
So, James, we're gonna do wrap up, and then we're gonna do Patreon. I don't know if you guys want to both come on to Patreon and hang out. If you're, I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, it's feeling like it's.
You guys can give us some Q&A, maybe. You guys can some customers can give us some Q&A, some people from the
for sure.
And I'll throw it in. I'll give it back.
And we'll do it. And if you're on Patreon, maybe exactly. Uncle James might just give away a pack.
Well, he just said he's going to give away 4 packs.
4 packs. Holy shit! I didn't know that. 8 packs. What did he say?
Holy shit! 8 packs. Thank you so much for those 10 packs.
48 packs. Oh my god!
You guys don't understand what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes when the sisters are upset, right, they need the cheeseburger to understand the weather, and if they don't understand the weather, then I don't know.
Are you with me?
Right?
Oh, where were you 2 weeks ago? Where were you? We could have used you.
All right, Morpheus.
We didn't know you speak astrological mumbo jumbo.
Morpheus.
Exactly.
Neo. Morpheus Neo.
That's it. That's it. If we just block out the one sun and have 10 suns.
You got it.
James, were you saying you wanted Adam Weiss from Numbnuts to come on for a few minutes? Is that what you were saying?
No, when we do his commercial, he's going to come on and just like be
No, I won't do his commercial unless he's sitting right here. Then we'll pass it up.
Man.
Yeah, right
what
here.
What a hard ass.
Yeah.
Well, let's start. And let's see if we can get Duke on for Patreon. Let's check in. Why don't you do that for us, James?
Yeah. Okay.
Send him a message. Tell him.
He's been harassing me. He wants me to ask him why he likes the big girl sitting on it. That's his question.
Whoa. That wasn't my fault. That's a story for another day. That wasn't my fault.
That's a Patreon story if I ever heard one.
It's a Patreon story.
All right.
I thought we were going to spend a lot of time on the agronomical differences between stuff.
Agronomical.
We can get into type 5. Yeah, we'll go type 5. We'll start talking about type 5.
Oh shit! Level 5 or type 5?
Don't go level 5. That's
type 5, not level 5.
Never go full type 5. Trust me.
Oh,
yeah, it's devoid of all cannabinoids, man. You guys might like it since you smoke Oreos. But,
no, we don't. Damn. That's a ding on you, Mark.
Smokes Oreos.
Mark's the Oreo lover around here.
Shit.
If you don't want to grow Oreos flavored weed and you want to grow fucking killer organic weed, you probably want to go to Building Soil.
We have a new lead off.
Oh, we do?
What?
Oh, here we are.
So High Cafe.
I thought we were going to end. Don't we end?
4300 West Allen. No, it's better to start with it. 4300. Look, as long as somebody from housing and building code is not listening, there are 100 people here today. So
33. There's only 30.
There's 33.
Oh, come on now.
At least
333 people are here.
No, we wish. Tomorrow, though, at Bar Turp Town, there's going to be thousands
So tomorrow
of people.
at 4:20 p.m. In fact, we picked the one weekend. It's actually going to be quite reasonable weather-wise the whole day.
That's how we do it around here. I usually plan months ahead and talk to the man himself and say, make sure the weather's fucking good, right? So.
You got to stop by. It's a. We'll just say it's a different kind of farmers market.
Yeah.
Stop on by.
Stop on
So
by.
4300 West Alameda, Sohai Cafe. Come see Vinny. If you ask for the Dunn deal,
Get some fucking fire coffee, some
Yeah.
fire Boulder coffee. You know it's good if it's from Boulder, right? It's like, come on, quality.
That's right.
you
We're in
do.
the quality
Did he
place.
take his lighter?
He did.
Sohai
He did.
Cafe.
Son of a bitch.
And but yeah, come to Sohai Cafe.
SoHiCafe.com.
That's the spot. And-
No.
But again, if you don't want to grow Oreos flavored weed, you need to go to buildasoil.com. Check out all of the inputs they have, all organic, obviously, and some of the best quality, vetted by them. And all the people who work there are awesome growers too. So if you call and you need to talk to anybody, you don't have to talk to Jeremy because he's quite a busy guy usually. But you go to 855-877-SOIL if you want to talk to somebody direct, and if you want to get the done deal, because you can't do it on the site. You have to go give him a call, say this is what I want to do. Boop, boop, boop. You can make the order online, but you probably want to call him in.
He might give you a few extra points off if you went.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. A lot of that.
Buildasoil.com.
That'll work.
855-877-SOIL.
Boom. And
Green Farms Med. Do you want to smoke organic flower?
Oh, you're in the Springs. I know there's
You're
a lot
in
of
the Springs.
We got people here from the
Yeah.
Springs right now. Colorado Springs, medical only, obviously. So if you're there and you are a cannabis consumer, you probably already know that. But you can go and get the Dunn deal, which is definitely worth it because they have the best cannabis from Colorado, all in under one roof. And he loves when he hears people coming in from the show. So.
And he's got a turbo core. You take the
Don't get all
concentrate
your shaft. It's like
and you shove it right up the joints.
Jesus.
Okay.
You make it so graphic, dude.
They
it's a fucking hash toothpick that you stick in there.
Stick in there.
Hey.
Anyway, what he has is he has negotiated with the best Colorado companies. He's got all the products on the shelf. He'll offer the Dunn deal on everything in the store. Got to have your medical card. In a few weeks, we're going to have Dr. Joe Cohen from Holos Health here in Boulder, and you'll get $25 off your medical evaluation if you go to Holos Health, and then you can go shop at Green Farms Med.
Look at that. And
what did we determine? It's 4 MTIs?
27 U's, that would be for sure.
Oh, no.
At least. How many? Like
That's
200
way
200
more.
Daves or 200 Daves or four MTIs. I think that would
Hold
be
on,
the
keep going.
ratio. Higher?
Well, what are we talking about right now or back in the day?
I'm talking right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't let any money on it.
So what you would do is go down, get your Homer bucket, get one of these deals, pop it on top, throw a drill that you got sitting around, and you've got
40
yourself
days.
a trim machine, which definitely, I don't know, I'm not even going to give it a ratio, but I'll tell you, it is a lot easier than asking your friend to come over and help you out because they just give you some lame-ass excuse every fucking time.
Well, no, I
And
would
then-
come over. I
and then-
just wouldn't trim. I would smoke all the herb. I'd roll joints for everybody. I'd make sure everyone was having a good time.
But it's funny, too, because like things like that back to the Oreo strain, like works great in a trimmer. Of course, because it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Mark, what? You want this Oreos?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take all of that.
You got it.
Of course.
It's yours.
It's all yours, Mark.
So go to greenbros.com. It's
With the
10%
Z.
off the harvest bucket, but it's 5% off all the big ticket items. And trust me, it's going to really add up. They make such amazing products. All manufactured in Las Vegas, the United States.
Stainless real
steel.
clean.
They're all pot smokers, so they know their
So
shit.
they're probably going to be missing a few parts along the way, like maybe one or two. But it's
Well,
okay. You'll figure it out.
I heard they
Like,
throw in one extra nut and bolt just to keep you on your toes.
They do.
Yeah.
Because they know they're stoned. They're like, fuck it, throw an extra one in there.
The holy
They'll
roller.
probably use it. That thing is ridiculous.
It's the coolest joint roller you'll ever see. It's the equivalent of 19,000 knees when it comes to rolling joints because
It does some
look how
crazy.
many they do.
It's got a crazy output, and it's like they thought of everything, obviously. So, or at least
next
it looks
ad,
like they
make
have.
sure you skip over Numbnuts since he still won't.
Oh
come
yeah,
up
that
here,
guy.
okay?
Fuck that guy.
So skip
Yeah,
over
that
it.
guy.
Greenbros.com.
Until he comes up
Don't go
here.
to
He's,
Numbnuts.
Well, it's okay. We're going to
work.
Apothecary
He's got to
Farms.
work. Got to work around. Got to work.
Go,
If you're
Mark.
into concentrates, this is Apothecary Farms, Colorado and Oklahoma is a concentrate focused dispensary. And you can get stuff of all kinds of.
That Oreo's got you fucked up, bro. Look,
man,
you
you
can't
got
even
me.
make a sentence. Yo.
I can't hear.
I got.
I don't know if we should switch these mics because I can't hear myself on these.
Got Oreo'd on the Adam.
You got
Dunn
all
Show.
Oreo'd up, bro.
Anyways, yeah. So go check it out. They have You can smoke dabs
Oreos?
for all kinds of
They got Oreos, and then
on any kind of budget. You know what I mean?
So our boy, our guy,
we're good.
Our concentrate Jedi, who I won't say his name because he doesn't like to. Of
course.
He came up before the show started, and there were the 4 jars of Apothecary sitting here. All right? Now, this is the snobbiest fucking snob. If you say rosin around him, he like cringes, okay? He
smelled it.
Picked up and he was like, that's fucking proper.
I know all about that.
When the Renegade Jedi appreciates the work of the Jedi, you know you got some shit there. So Apothecary extract.
there you go. Those are wise
Apothecary
words.
farms.
Wise words.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm trying to pontificate a little.
Hey.
And defeat that dab X.
So we are going to do a giveaway because I just got UPS confirmation that I don't know what the weight on this is, but I have about 20 pounds of products.
20 pounds of fucking Dab-X coming. Could be all
by
packaging,
UPS.
though. Could all just be packed
I don't
in,
think so.
Packed in concrete.
I'm hoping it's like a lot of. Anyway, we're going to give one of these
We're
away.
going by weight around here.
We'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
It is, in my opinion, the best dab rig, electronic dab rig out there right now. Some of you like the other ones. Well, I'm going to tell you why this one is better. You don't have to fucking clean it.
You could be a total pig.
Yeah, pig.
Disgusting.
Look at Adams.
Yes. that's
Okay?
me, that's
You
me.
don't have to clean it. It works.
I clean
okay?
mine every week. He's like, "Do you even use it?" I was like, "No, I just clean it because I'm civilized."
Ooh. Look
Wow.
at that.
You're
Dis.
anything but civilized.
Yeah.
Dis.
This is an
Dis.
amazing, incredibly engineered device.
And it's only the beginning. Like we said, it's only the beginning. They're just starting.
Yeah, this is version 1. Trust me. You load big fucking dabs in here. You take the first dab to the 4th dab in the same bowl, and it tastes the same from the 1st to the 4th because the reclaim doesn't go anywhere near the vapor path. Amazing product. So you go to dabx.com, you enter Dunn Deal at checkout, and you get 20% off your order. So I believe it's $240 shipped to you. They might still be running
their 33% deal.
So
You should
just
get on-
grab that one, and in the notes field, say you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show.
Yeah, get a better deal. Then it's only like $200.
Yeah.
Deal. Here we are.
Ozocoffee.com.
Can't stop.
I've
Won't
been
stop.
a,
Boom,
I've been
right
a fan
there.
Yeah.
since the first time I walked in, and the drink was a macchiato, and it wasn't anything like this fucking Starbucks macchiato that is like ice cream and sugar. It's espresso
sugar.
with a couple of dollops of foam, and they won me over as a fan. And then when I heard their story, I just fell in love with these guys. So they travel around the globe, they forge relationships with individual family farms, and they have the bean shipped to Boulder Green. Then they roast it on a 1959 roaster. Okay? They take pride
Don't
in
forget
what
the
they
most
do.
important part, the unicycle.
The unicycle.
Yeah, they do the unicycle around.
that's how they make it
and
work,
they
right?
juggle.
It's totally manual.
They juggle while they're doing it. It's total hipster shit.
Yeah.
It's so hipster, bro.
Yeah, they play the squeeze box.
And they do the thing with the mustache the whole time.
But if you're a connoisseur of fine cannabis and you can distinguish, if your palate is refined enough to know the difference between all, just like we were talking, when you recognize the cheese, when you know the cardboard's like Mark's favorite strain in
I know,
Oreos,
his favorite.
you will appreciate all the different strains of coffee because they are really individual strains. And the beans are roasted just to a level. You're going to love it. Done deal.
Killer combinations
23.
too. Now it's funny because we got to see behind the behind the curtain a little bit.
How they do it.
And we were like, oh, because I was like, oh, I love this one and I love that one, and he's like, same thing, different roast. I'm like, oh, no wonder my brain just went, that's the one. You know what I mean?
Nice.
The Cozy Cabin and the Creek Stomper.
Oh, you like the dark ones.
I do. I like them more like.
Done deal 23.
I like them all, but I like those too.
I got you.
Done deal 20.
Oh, don't look at me like that. Just because I like darker roast sometimes.
I'm just looking down my nose at you.
Oh,
It's okay.
Bastard.
Done deal 23 at Ozo, not just done deal. So here's where you can get July done deal. So if you go to 14erboulder.com and you place a pre-order and you enter July done deal, you get 20% off your order. Okay? I think you can walk out the door with like a gram of rosin for $24. So amazing deal. And try the DJC. The guy on the can is fucking good looking. It's amazing flower. When I was talking earlier about how most dispensaries can't keep flower on the shelf, they can't keep the same strains in stock, 14er has managed to keep some of their core strains on the shelf now for, 10 years? You know, I would say even more. So 13 years probably. So just head on over to 14erboulder.com. They are located on 28th and Mapleton, right across from the YMCA. I keep talking about this company because I met all of his customers selling his bags at MAPS last month. So this is the company, Pegasus Bags.
That's right.
Where all those people bought their bags from that they were selling to the consumers there.
Yeah.
So
bunch of custies.
We're just letting you know. It just skip the 6 middlemen between you and your mushroom bags.
Or even if you don't have time to do your own sterilization, he is now offering 3-pound sterilized millet bags for $25 a piece. So they're pre-sterilized, they're ready to go. They have an injection port that you can put on the side if you are scared about that, or if you just like to raw dog it and just go right into the bag and
raw dog it. Damn.
Hey man, there's some guys that are really proud about that. So
yeah, they're like, I am the dirtiest motherfucker ever, and I grow mushrooms like ain't nothing.
Yeah, actually,
my rhizosphere is pretty gross. What?
We should talk about that again. That's an amazing deal. $25 for 3 pounds of sterilized millet.
Shipped to you.
From what I have heard from our junior mycologist, MTI, that's where it's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
Is sterilizing your grain.
Yeah.
So
it's another process. It's a whole process in itself. So
if you do it yourself, it's going to be like a whole day or two process.
Done deal at checkout, 10% off your order.
With a high failure rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want that.
Bangers Brands, you're a California company and you want your flower rolled into joints, reach out to Bangers and tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show.
Interesting.
We're looking forward to having Jared on the show from Hortotech Direct. If you're a licensed commercial grower, if you're not even a licensed grower and you just want an amazing greenhouse for growing whatever, you can reach out to Hortotech Direct.
Definitely accessible shit too. Like if you start looking at the pricing and all that, you're like, this is doable. It can definitely improve your fucking game incredibly. Plus, we have proof from one of our guests that this shit really works. Where they had 60 below zero for 3 days.
70
below,
minus 70,
which is pretty damn cold, colder than normal. And inside the greenhouse, because 72. It was dual walled, so you had two layers going on. 72 degrees the whole
72
time.
Holy
Perfect.
No way. I can't make it 72
negative
in
70
my living room.
negative 70 outside with wind, like 60 mile an hour wind going sideways. Thing not only did it not blow away, but it fucking stayed 72 perfect. I was like, damn, that's impressive. Wow. So
what else do you need to know? I mean, really, he just had it battlefield tested and it won. Okay. HortotechDirect.com, done deal at checkout, or speak to them. You don't want to be buying this straight off.
You're probably not going to buy it online. Like,
no,
can
you're
I
going to
get
have a sales rep.
$1 million greenhouse?
5% off your greenhouse.
So that's a chunk.
YoTip.com.
Save your life.
Possibly the greatest new product that I have been exposed to.
ShamWow of now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I hope it makes him $1 billion.
Look how high it goes. Yeah.
YoTip.com. You can enter done deal at checkout if you want to buy them straight away. But really, what we'd love for you to do is, if you really want to get this product into the hands of your local medical dispensaries, just send us an email with your medical dispensary information and we will give them a call. We'll send them some samples. We'll send you some samples to bring in. It saved us from the plague. Okay, look what we just learned. Look what just happened to him.
What happened to us?
He didn't use a YoTip.
Oh, I know exactly.
And got the wookest flu.
He got the Fort Collins cough for reals.
Yeah,
for reals.
That's the
for
you
4
don't want
weeks.
that shit.
For 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Just piece of birch could have saved him. Could have saved him 4 weeks of.
And they have
hell.
They have cones. They have papers. They have filter tips.
You know what? I got a report on the papers. This is like guys who sell raw all day and they sell OCB and they sell all of them. They were like, dude, we all like these better. So I'm like,
you heard it here.
There you go. Wow. So that's it. Because I haven't even really given him much of a chance because I got so many other papers lying around that I just haven't really, I was like, well, But now I'm curious. We'll start rolling.
Here we go. We'll start using them. We need longer ones.
Exactly. That's what I said. I said the reason we're not really on it is because it's not really our size.
That's right.
So, don't tell him. Oh yeah, tell him. Speaking of telling, next week, Culture Biologics Tim will be back in the studio, our serial guest host.
Well, and his glasses will be here too.
Oh, him and his glasses will be here. So if you got any kind of crazy questions about anything growing, anything nutrient based, this is your chance. You have a whole week now to figure it out. But Culture Biologics is putting out some amazing, like, it's funny. I grew this with it right here, and it's like, look at, boom. You can't even. There's no arguments. Like, that's to its potential.
Who gets to take this home?
It smells fantastic.
It smells fantastic. Who gets it? You wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what to do.
You'd be like, I left it in the car. It's got all mushed, and I sat in a bagel.
I try and stick it in.
I ain't going anywhere. Just shit. Now, grown. This is the sticky lemons from Covert. And again, like with Culture Biologics and another one of our sponsors, which I'll wait till we get there because I don't want to blow it, pretty much produce some of the best fucking herb you can do. Go. So check them out. Carbon-based, which is, what fucking plants, it's what plants crave. No, it's what plants need to be.
From the toilet?
Yes, exactly, from the toilet.
Culture Biologics.
Check out the Eon line. Get ready for next week with Tim. And go to their Discord channel and check that out because it's very active and everybody's there talking about using the products and different. Any kind of new news is going to come out there first. And again, like I said, very active channel.
Very active
Discord.
Experience the flavor of zero nitrate.
ReadyNatural.com.
I didn't
even crack into the Dablogic yet because I usually wait.
I think you get 15% off your pre-order. You got to be pre-order only. You can't go down there and shop and use the Dunn deal. Flower is absolutely amazing. A lot of their genetics comes from our good friend JJ from Top Dog Seeds. And the rosin is something beyond. It is the terpiest rosin you will ever have in your life.
It's clean.
So
it's
Julian,
clean. It's clean as
Is
fuck.
anything not a terp?
He thinks about rosin production from the moment the clone goes in the ground. So everything is about how
From the moment the clone goes in the ground, his brain is on fire.
That's it. It's
all
all about the rosin.
It was a terpy day.
All about the rosin.
No, killer product. We all look forward to it every week. Well, every one of us.
We really do.
Yes, it's the last one. It's usually the last thing I'll smoke. I'll have it like on the side. It's like when you eat off your plate, you always save your favorite thing for like the last bite.
Oh yeah,
it's the special occasion.
It's that. Even though I love all my different. Actually, these have been fire.
You save it for when you need to close a deal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What? All right. Tomorrow, come by our bar trip time.
You're breaking the fourth wall.
Yes.
Totally breaking the fourth wall.
It's okay. It's okay. He doesn't know anything about production or anything. That guy.
He's awesome.
He doesn't
This is the best guy in
understand. He doesn't
town.
understand
These guys
how
don't even
things work.
know.
Oh, all right.
As
As usual.
Come sit down for a second.
No, he can't.
ReadyNatural.com.
No. He's too big. I'd have to sign all sorts of
Waivers.
Here's what we do.
paperwork.
Terpwipes.com/done deal. Terpwipes.com/done deal. It calculates the discount for you. There's no need for you to enter a promo code. Terpwipes.com/done deal. This product is a must-have. If you're a dabber, you're a smoker. If you sit next to Adam, you have to have them. He's a messy dabber.
Dude, I use them like.
If you get a Dabex, you'll use them
more than you won't use a Q-tip anymore.
You'll never use a Q-tip, and you'll use more of these because that's the only thing you need.
And
basically, after you scooped all the stuff out, or did it, however, you just kind of give it a, and you're good to go.
We got actually from our friend, we got a thought on a new terp wipe product to be used in the mycology field. So I'm going to pass it on to them as well. Terpwipes.com/done deal.
Not herp wipes.
Alcohol glove.
Bio365.
Hell yeah! There's
Did
the
you
other
really
half.
take numbnuts out of the rotation? Because I was just kidding. He's here. We haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh no, we're gonna drag him
We
in.
just haven't got to it, sir.
Bio365.
He's watching us. He's like, "What's going on?
Yeah, I just
Where's
wanna
my
make sure.
placement?" Bio365, the other half of the missing piece of the puzzle of this incredible plant grown right here, or one of the pieces. was grown in Bio 365, Bio all, little amendments from my side, but at the same time, pretty much ran with theirs for the first.
When you say amendments, you mean like a little hocus pocus?
I do a lot of hocus pocus, yeah, exactly. A lot of hocus, a lot of pocus.
If you're a licensed company anywhere in the United States, we want to be able to put Bio 365 up against whatever grow medium you're using right now in your commercial facility. So all you have to do is send an email to tim@bio365.com. Just tell him you heard about it on the show, and he'll probably send a pallet of whatever grow medium you're using right now.
And then you can put it side by side and get some serious results. I'll tell you, I've been using it now for a while, and it's funny because I had James came by my place the other day, Professor Piff, and he was like looking at the plants like, what soil you? Like he was super impressed because I was showing him those deep chunk sage crosses that are looking beastly. He's like, what are you growing in? And I'm like, Bio 365 and Culture Biologics. He's like, bam, impressed.
A match made on the Adam Dunn Show.
It is. It is a perfect little match.
Bio365.com. Give him a call and tell him you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. If you do buy something online, enter Dunn Deal at checkout, if we even have one, but you should probably just reach out to Tim.
Hit him up.
I think everything bagel's got a little too much cream cheese on it.
Excuse me, Mr. Weiss, last chance.
Come on.
It's up on the screen.
Pretend you care about your company.
Yeah.
What
the heck? Oh, that was a good one, man.
You like how I pushed?
You should definitely have food in your mouth.
That's how I roll.
No, that's how numbnuts is. You got to have food in your mouth. Come on, dude. That's how
we should be
the ad
dipping
goes.
my
It's your food
in your numbnuts.
It is.
We did already.
He just did it. He just did it.
Mm-hmm. The thin ones are just made for numbnuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, spread them nuts.
Numbnutsco.com. You enter Dunn Deal at checkout. You get 20% off any of their non-THC infused nut butters. The CBD
Nut butter sounds
almond butter
really shake.
Is my favorite.
Cinnamon almond.
I can just feel like it's like you're doing one of these like nipple rubs.
Peanut butter, check out find our nuts in the top corner.
What? Turn your mic on.
The mic is not on.
You and your mic. Come on. He just can't. He doesn't know how to operate.
Dude.
He can't work. He doesn't DJ or
I'm just
anything.
gonna cup it like a rapper.
There you go.
Yo, what's up, dog?
You're cupping it.
Turn my mic up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
So I can hear
We're
it.
gonna give him some level.
But no, in general,
we're good.
that fucking cinnamon shit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is the fucking.
Are there some in there right now? Because it's in
That's a
front
home
of
run.
O.D.B, and that guy's gonna fucking pocket them
those
right.
are-
Get your,
It's gone now.
Those
I
are.
brought some extra. We got some extra
Don't talk
products
about
coming out
all
here
these
soon.
things.
And it's going to be available. The
If he's at
non-THC
Target-
ones will be available here at Sohai. So talk about and on the menu.
Yeah, and we just got our license approved on Wednesday, so
Oh,
things are back in
shit.
the business.
Things are going nutty around here. It's getting nutty.
So this is a
Nutty around
tandem nut milker, milks 2 nuts at a time.
Numbnutsco.com.
Numbnuts code. Your mic's not on again.
Man,
What do you mean?
It is
dude?
on. He just
You
can't hear.
didn't cup it.
You didn't cup.
You got a cup.
You got a cup.
Yeah, I guess I got
There
There
you
you
go.
go. Sounds way better.
They ship anywhere in the United States. Do you ship to Hawaii?
Yes, extra shipping costs though.
Oh goodness.
Maybe not with the Dunn Deal.
Okay.
That might balance the Done Deal will balance
know,
your shipping costs.
We'll
There
see.
you go.
We'll see.
How's that for a deal?
And this is your other venture, actually your first venture, Breckenridge Organic
baby.
Therapy, Breckenridge's premier cannabis dispensary. You can go there. You can shop there. You can buy something off the shelves. However, if you want the Dunn Deal, you have to place a pre-order. I saw Spencer. I don't think he's got it entered yet, but that's what he agreed to in theory.
It's entered. It's entered. I checked on Monday.
It's moving forward. It's progressing.
So the discount is 40% off? What was it again?
Yeah, something crazy.
I don't remember. I don't recall.
No, it's probably somewhere 10 to 15%
He's
off.
taking no responsibility.
Yeah.
But it's a pre-order only, and here's the deal. You don't get to walk in there and start going, hey, have you guys heard about the Dunn Deal? And to tell everybody online, it doesn't help us track the influence of the channel. So don't be that guy. Just know you got a great deal. Place a pre-order. Go to Breckenridge Organic Therapy. Is it .com?
Yeah, but more so than anything, they could say it in the store. They just
You
then
sure?
have to go on their phone and actually make an order.
Got it.
Be that guy.
We understand
so be
why
that guy.
So be that guy then.
Be that guy.
Yeah.
You can be that guy.
Wear a
So then-
t-shirt. Wear a t-shirt. It says "Done deal." Here
Yeah, let's
now.
go.
Do it.
Come on, let's sell
You're gonna
some
love
weed.
my
And
nuts.
stand out in front and get a
Everyone
little
wants to
board
get
and flip
high.
it around, and then you got a job. You've created your own job.
I do love your nut butter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Appreciate that.
We enjoy it.
Maybe don't look at me like that, though.
Well,
You gotta look in his eyes when you say
Mark,
that. You have to
Mark
stare straight in
does
his eyes
things.
as you talk about his nut butter.
That's right.
Well,
Especially with that jazz voice.
Oh yeah. So if you want genetics, and this is
I have
what
to send
Dave
you-
is going to ask you to do, take clones. Don't just grow the seeds out and go, oh, they were great, because you're going to be that guy that might find something and you just want to have it in the bank. So go to seedsherenow.com, enter Dunn Deal at checkout. You get 10% off all your orders. I don't think, I'm blanking on his genetics name.
Who?
That was just here.
Bless Coast.
I don't think he has any in stock right now, but maybe he'll make an announcement or come on the show and James will tell us the next time you have some in stock. Breeder of the month, maybe someday will be Adam, but it's not this month. This month, who is it?
I had my month.
Oh, yeah.
The cartel.
I had a month
You
once.
had your day.
I had a month once back in the day. I remember that month. It was a big,
Flavor
it was
of the month.
the month of my life.
It's still watermelon.
Oh, by the way, happy anniversary.
What?
THC, it's about 30.
Oh yeah, no, because officially I was waiting until July because I thought that is literally when we started. Like I remember the day, I remember the moment.
What's up with the shotgun, man?
Shotgun wedding? What? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's
All right.
crazy.
Seedsherenow.com.
I'm getting Duke. I'm getting Duke the link.
We'll get him on Patreon.
I know he's coming on exactly.
So last but not least, AdamDunnShow.com. Soon we'll have headshots of Mark signed.
Oh,
So if you would like a signed photo of Mark, just send an email to Dundeal at AdamDunnShow.com.
You got any headshots done? Is that what's going on?
No, I'm not. I'm doing that. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Sure you are.
Of course you are.
Or we're going to use that guy from Instagram who does the song, I'm a just a... That guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're using you.
You do that.
Yeah.
You go
or
do
you
that.
buy that shirt that Mark is wearing.
You support the show. Go to the merch on AdamDunnShow.com and get some fucking cool gear. Get the shirt I'm wearing right here.
I'm looking more like this guy, anyways.
You are that guy. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? The kid. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, the kid who looks like exactly like that guy right there. But the kid, he was supposed to be here on the 9th. Of
course he was.
Classic. Classic. He told me months ahead, oh, I'll be there on the 9th, and then came up. Obviously didn't happen. He'll be here, he said, in 3 weeks. He's doing some crazy thing
Sure
where
he will.
you win a trip with him to here. I was like, that sounds like the biggest scam I ever heard of.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a big
the old
scam.
win a trip to
That's not
with
good.
me
I'm
to
going
some.
to give you a check.
I don't
you
know.
cash it. It's
gonna-
for $2,000.
we're
You
gonna have
send
the-
me $1,500 back.
Da-da.
You keep that $5. We're all good.
Now that's a fucking deal.
Yeah.
That is a deal.
The only person we can count on is O.D. Diesel. He is here week after week after week.
Hogging the mic, as always.
Yeah.
He's a
Doesn't shut the fuck. He was even on camera tonight. He didn't say a fucking word.
We tried to get him. Yeah. Actually, I was trying to get him off the mic.
I think he took a deep breath and he went, no.
That's a lot.
Ultimate guess. Hey,
Oh,
there he is. He got
look at that.
He got in before. He got even before we ended the show. I was just about to send the link, so he got the link.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So if you want to hang out with us, Duke, me, we got. Are you hanging around? What are you doing?
I'm gonna get high.
All right. See.
Yeah.
It's all hanging around. We're gonna have a Patreon, another hour. There.
I have spent about 4 hours on the phone with Duke over the last few days, and I want to tell you, this guy.
I'm surprised he's here.
is
Then how?
fucking
Why didn't you-
amazing. No, he has. You think of the stories he's told on the show?
Oh, those are nothing.
No, fucking nothing. When you guys read the book that's going to come out about this man's life, you know what? I'm not saying it. You're going to fucking.
You said
it'll
too
be a
much. You said
bestseller.
too much. Is what
Be a
I'm thinking.
bestseller.
Is what I'm thinking. I think
Oh,
you said.
no,
way
he did great, man. What are you talking about? What did I say?
Too much. All right. If you
You'll
guys
love
want to
the
hang
book.
out, if you guys want to hang out with us, go to Patreon, sign up, Adam Dunn Show, support the show, $4.20 a month. Ain't nothing.
Completely lost, dude.
It's $1.05 a week to hang out for an extra hour. Dude, that's already worth it right there. Plus, we give away some shit and all sorts of weird shit happens.
And there's nothing stopping you from buying
There might
multiple
even be.
Patreons.
There may even be a top level entrepreneur on the show in a minute. I don't know. Could happen.
You don't know.
But he's a real.
It could happen.
He's a real Mike Hogg. Real. He's not O.D. Diesel. Let me tell you. Garden clean.
No, he's a friend of
Garden
ours.
clean.
Okay.
Get on the mic. Oh, he's getting ready. Look at him. He's flexing. All right. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. See you guys next week or on Patreon, whatever comes first.
Peace.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums and their own.
This is a special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing.
Me?
Want you to smoke the natural herb.
Sweet.
Some call it marijuana.
Sweet.
Some call it sesame.
Sweet.
Some call it lamb's bread.
The tea.
And some people call it ganja.